Okay, I'm back with another video. This video I will go through the Melaka state paper for Addmaths, right? So this is Addmaths paper, and this one is the Melaka. Okay, so it's the trial for 2024, and this is paper one, right? Okay, so let's start. All right, so let's start with question number one. All right, let's read the question. Number 1A, given A and B are non-zero vectors and not parallel, such that H minus 3A equals to K plus 12B, where H and K are constant. Find the value of H and K. Okay, in vectors, if two vectors are not parallel, they cannot equal, right? Kalau dua vector ni dia tak parallel, dia tak boleh sama dengan. So if they say A and B are not parallel, means vector A and vector B tak boleh sama dengan. Right? Tak boleh sama dengan. But what if dia sama dengan? If dia sama dengan, then you take the coefficient equals 0. Right? So what you do is you take the A punya coefficient, which is H minus 3 equals 0. And then the K punya, B punya coefficient, K plus 2 equals 0. Right? And then you just find H negative 3 pindah jadi 3 lah. And then 2 pindah jadi negative 2. And that's all. That's the answer. Alright? So, yeah, sudah siap. Alright, soalan B. Given A vector is 2i plus kj, B vector is 17i plus 5j. So obviously this is coordinate vector because they use ij, right? So they say find values of k if magnitude of b minus a equals 17 units. All right, this line is not modulus, because in this chapter vector we call this magnitude, right? Only in this chapter lah, all right? Okay, in other chapter you call it modulus, right? But in vector we don't call it modulus, we call this magnitude. All right, before you find magnitude, you need to know the magnitude formula. Magnitude formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. And inside this bracket, you have to put in the coefficient of ij, right? But you cannot put in 17, 5. Cannot. Because this is vector b. What I want now is vector b minus a. So what you have to do now is don't find the magnitude first. You find out the b minus a in terms of ij first. It means I will find out b minus a in terms of ij. Then only I start finding the magnitude. So let's put in the vector b. It's given here 17i plus 5j, right? And then 2i plus kj, you put in here, right? So now you can find out the vector for b minus a. Okay, let's open the bracket. So when you open the bracket, the 2i becomes negative 2i, plus k become minus k, right? Because minus plus jadi minus. That is why the bracket is very important lah. If you forgot to open the bracket here, then you thought it's plus k, then the whole thing wrong already. Alright, so I dengan I boleh buat, j dengan j boleh buat. 17i minus 2i, 15i, 5j minus kj, okay, 5 minus k, tak boleh lah, but you can factorize out like this, alright? It's always recommended in vector to write your answer like this. Satu, 1i, 1j like this, right? So that's why I factorize out the j like this, right? Okay, it's not over yet. Now they say magnitude of b minus a equals to 17, right? So the 17, that's the answer. So I'm just gonna write it down. And then for the left hand side, I will just find my own magnitude for b minus a. So the magnitude formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. Okay. Oh, and by the way, this is the formula for Pythagoras theorem, right? So what is the formula for Pythagoras theorem? If you want to find the magnitude, you are just taking the horizontal distance square plus with the vertical distance square to find the hypotenuse, right? So, okay, but I have to square root the whole thing lah. All right, so b minus a, the vector in terms of ij is this one. So you can just put it in. Just take the number in front of ij. So 15, and then the number in front of j is 5 minus k, right? Okay, the square root, I can throw it over there. So when you move there, it becomes 17 square, and you can use calculator, you get 289 here. And then what's left here? 15 square, which is 205. You can use your calculator. Okay, the 5 minus k square, if you expand, you will end up with this 25 minus 10k plus k square. If you expand, right? But I will not expand. I will leave it like this, right? Yeah, it's better to not expand actually. But even if you expand also, you will get the same answer. So it's up to you, right? But if you expand, then later it becomes a quadratic, and then you have to press your ABC in your calculator to get the two answer lah. Can also, right? If you expand, then later you will factorize, get two answer lah. But the reason why I said it's better to not expand is because later you can just pindah the whole square to the other side, right? You will still end up with two answer because square hantar jadi square root ada dua jawapan, right? Okay, let me show it. Let me show you. So first I'll pindah the 225. It becomes 289 minus 225. And if you press this, you'll get 64, right? 64. And now you can move the whole square over. So now you understand why I said it's better not to expand, huh? All right, because I know the square can bring it over. But do you know, you need to know something? When you square pindah jadi square root, there will be two answer plus minus. It means that there will be two answer here. 5 minus 8k equals to 8, and then 5 minus k equals to negative 8, right? It means square root 64 gives you two answer, 8 and negative 8. All right, now you can find your k. The minus K hantar sini jadi positive K, 8 hantar sana jadi minus 8, 5 minus 8, negative 3, done. Do the same here, negative K pindah here jadi positive K, negative 8 pindah jadi plus 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, right? And this is your answer. K is negative 3 and 13, right? So they want to find values of K, right? So yeah, two answer also you have to take, right? Okay, if you expand, you will end up with this, right? And then here got plus 225 and then equals to 289, right? And then you have to rearrange the whole thing and then everything equals 0 lah. First you write the K square, then you write the K, then you write the number equals 0, and then you press the ABC in your calculator, and trust me, the calculator will give you the same answer here also. Alright? Okay, so even if you want to expand, can also, alright? It's up to you, right? But kalau saya buat macam ni, right? If I'm the one doing it, I'll do it like this. Okay, sudah siap? All right, let's continue with number 2. This looks like a coordinate geometry question, right? Because they give us some coordinate here. Okay, let's read the question. Diagram 1 shows the location of 4 houses in a village drawn on the Cartesian plane. So 4 houses, P, Q, R, S, yes. All right, now this says given the equation of road that connects P and R is this equation. So I will go to PR. This garisan, I will just label it 6x minus 3y equals 18. All right, let's not see what they ask for A first. Let's observe the diagram. So I can see that I can find my M, right? Because they gave us the equation of this line, right? And since this line passes through point Q, it means I can sub x4 and then sub ym inside. And then after I sub, I can get the value of M already. So if later question asks us to find M, I can find it easily. I just sub inside, right? And another thing also, I can find point P, right? Because they give us equation. And do you know point P is actually a x-intercept? So it means the y will be 0. If it's the, yeah, because x-intercept, the y coordinate will be 0. Okay. And how to find the x coordinate then? Just sub y 0 lah. Then you get it, right? But I will not do it now. Only if the question asks later, then only I will do it, right? Okay, and another thing I notice is I also can find the gradient of this line. Because whenever they give you equation, you can change to y equals mx plus c, and you can butcher the gradient, right? And of course, the y-intercept also lah, right? But I don't think the y-intercept would be useful here because the y-intercept of the line is like, you have to extend the line, and they never draw until here. So I don't think you will need the y-intercept. Okay, but the gradient, maybe you will use it later. I don't know, right? Okay, so just keep in mind that you can find the gradient of this line, and also you can find point P and point Q. Yeah, it's possible, right? Okay, now we read the question and see what they want. So they want you to write the equation in the form of x over a plus y over b equals 1. State the coordinate of P. Okay, I already tell you how to find P just now, right? You just sub y equals 0 inside here, right? But what they want you to do first is write the equation in this form. Okay, what do we call this form? This is called intercept form, right? Intercept form. Okay, let me just write down all the form that you learn in your syllabus. So in this chapter, coordinate geometry, first you learn about linear form. Okay, sometimes we call it gradient form. Okay, linear form and gradient form is the same thing. It will be y equals mx plus c, right? Yeah, the first, one of the form to write equation of straight line is the linear form, right? Next form we learn is general form. General form means like everything on one side equals 0. So it will be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. But sometimes the equation don't have square, right? Like for example, like if it's a straight line, how can you have square, right? Then no, don't write the square, then write the x followed by y followed by number followed by 0. Yeah, followed by equals 0, right? So it depends on the on the equation lah. Some equation they have x square and y square. Then it's different already. The arrangement will be x square followed by y square followed by x followed by y followed by number followed by equals 0, right? So it depends. All right, the last form you learn is called intercept form. So intercept form is this one, the one they want now. So the intercept form looks like this: x over x intercept plus y over y intercept equals to 1, right? Yeah, they memang equal 1. Intercept form is always equals 1, right? So how can we convert this equation to intercept form? All right, I know some student, they will say something like this. They will say like, oh, sir, first I sub x equals 0 and then find y intercept. And then I sub y equals 0 and then find x intercept. And then I just put it in this format. I just put the x intercept inside here, y intercept here, and then sudah siap lah. Okay, can also. If you do like that, can also. But that's not the proper way. Like this is not the proper way. But can also. You will get the same exact answer and it's correct. Right? The answer will be correct. But I will teach you the proper way to convert to intercept form. The proper method is first you will arrange it so that it's x, y on one side, number on the other side. Right? So because you want it to be like this, right? So x, y on one side, number on one side, on the other side. So it's already arranged arranged in the way I want. Now, how to make it into intercept form? Focus on the right hand side. You want the right hand side number to be 1, right? So 18, how to become 1? You will divide 18, right? And the reason you are doing this is because you want this number to be 1. So that's why you divide 18. But when you do that, you have to divide 18. Everyone also have to divide 18. So the 6x have to divide 18. The negative 3y also have to divide 18. And please make sure here you write plus, because if there's nothing here means plus, right? And also you need to make sure the intercept form is always plus 1 here, right? If it's minus here, then the minus you have to put it down. It means that the y-intercept will be negative if it's minus here, right? So now you understand why the minus 3 I didn't write, why the minus I didn't write in the middle, right? I straight away put it up here. All right, now you can simplify. This one can cut. So 6 over 18, if you simplify, you will get x over 3. Because 6 over 18, when you divide 6, you get 3, right? Plus, what about 3 and 18? Yep, you can simplify also. You get negative y over 6. Because 3 divided 3 is 1. 18 divided 3 is 6, right? Equals to 1. Okay, this is not intercept form. I told you already, intercept form, it must be x and y single atas. So the negative, what you have to do? You have to put it down. That's why I say just now the negative. I just told you just now, right? I have to put it down. So it means your y-intercept is negative 6 like this, right? So this is how you convert to intercept form, right? Okay, so I should have said, but they also ask us to state the coordinate of house P, right? Okay, do you remember just now I said how to find P? You sub y equals 0 inside your equation, right? But you don't have to do that anymore because you already changed to intercept form. And can you tell me if it's intercept, if this is intercept form, what would be the 3? 3 would be the what? The x-intercept, right? And then negative 6, that is the y-intercept. It means point P is the x-intercept, so point P would be 3, 0, right? Okay, or you want to sub y equals 0 into here can also. You will get 6x equals 18, x equals 18 divided 6, 3, it's the same thing, right? Or you want to sub y equals 0 inside here can also. 0 divided negative 6 is 0 here, and then x equals to 1 times 3, yeah, same thing, 3, right? So that's all. All right, now I want to continue with okay, I think I have to write my final answer like this. So this is the first part, and then comma P30, because the question asked for two things, right? So that's why I want to make sure in my final answer I write the two answer for them. Okay, so sudah siap. Now I want to do B. So B says what? House Q is located between P and R. So Q is located P and R. Okay, betul. And then such that 5PQ equals QR. Okay, this is trying to tell you the ratio for PQQR. But how to butcher the ratio? Okay, if they tell you 5PQ equals to QR, the way I teach my student is I call this the rainbow format. So you have to butcher macam rainbow. You have to draw a rainbow like this, dalam dengan dalam, luar dengan luar. So if there's nothing here means 1. It means the PQ ratio is 1, QR ratio is 5. So you go to PQ, you write 1, but I have to circle it because it's ratio. QR ratio is 5. This is QR, right? So put 5 and then circle. Right? Ratio mesti bulatkan when you label. Alright, done. And then find the value of M. Okay, find the value of M. So how to find M? Yeah, I told you already, how to find M. You can just sub the 4M inside the equation, right? But actually, there's another way to do it. Because now you have point P, you can also do the point C formula, right? I call it the point C formula, right? What's the point C formula? You take point P darab 5, point R darab 1, like darab silang, and when you do that, you will get your point Q. Okay, it means you take point P times 5, point R times P, and then after you get the answer, you compare your answer with 4M, right? Okay, that's one way to do it. But another way to do it is straight away sub the 4M inside here, like inside the equation, right? But judging by how the question asks, because they give us the ratio, right? So I feel like what they want me to do is to use the point C formula, right? So I will do the point C formula method, right? Okay, so I will do it, where should I do it? Okay, I'll just do it, uh, I need space. So let me just erase this. Okay, something happened just now, like my computer crashed and then suddenly all the working lost already. But it's okay, because it's already recorded, so I will not repeat the explanation for A lah. I'll just continue with B. Okay, I will just continue where I left off just now. So just now I cakap sampai B and I was about to use the point C formula, and then the the app crash, right? Okay, so I'll just continue from there now. So my plan just now was to do the point C formula. Okay, it means I will take point P, the darab silang, right? This is how you do the point C formula. I call it the point C formula, but you cannot write point C, you have to write point Q, right? Because when you darab silang, you take point P times 5, point R times 1. So the point in between point Q, that's the point C lah. Okay, so point Q equals bracket, and the formula looks like this, line like this, right? Okay, for when you darab silang, you have to take point dekat hujung, darab ratio yang jauh. So you will take point P times 5, which is 3 times 5, 0 times 5. But the 3 times 5 you have to write here, 0 times 5 you have to write here, because 0 is the y coordinate. So of course you have to write at the y coordinate. Okay, now you have to take point R times 1. So 9 times 1, right here lah, because it's the x coordinate, right? And then 12 times 1, 12 is the y coordinate, so right here. Okay, and then nothing in between means plus, right? Okay, now what you have to write down here. Okay, bawah sini you kena ambil ratio tambah. Take the two ratio, add together. So it'll be 1 plus 5. Oh, sorry. 1 plus 5. And then the other side also 1 plus 5. Okay, now you can just solve this. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 9, 24. So it'll be 24 over 6. The other side, 0 times 5 is 0. 0 plus 12 is 12. 1 plus 5 is 6. And you end up with 4. And then 12, 6 is just 2, right? Okay, now you don't forget that you will have the point Q, right? Because point Q is 4m. So here you can actually write 4m. Here also you can write 4m, right? Yeah, so now what you can do is you can compare your answer, right? So when you compare, you will take the x coordinate, compare with the x coordinate, but you don't have to do that already because it's already 4 equals 4, right? So what they want you to find is m. So the m is very obvious, it's 2, right? But do you remember just now I said there's another method to do this question? What's the other method? You straight away take the equation, because you have the equation of this line already. 6x minus 3y equals 18. And if you want to find m, you just sub inside. So the x is 4, y is m. So it becomes 6 times 4 minus 3m equals 18. And then 3m equals to 24 minus 18, which is 6. M equals to 2. You can see the answer is same, right? Okay, but I don't think that's what like the person that made this question, I don't think this is what they want us to do, because they give us ratio, right? That's why I do it like this. I do it using the ratio, because if I just sub inside the equation, I didn't use this information, the ratio, right? So I feel like the schema also, they will uh uh the schema working also, they will have this formula. They will use this formula. So that's why I do it like this. All right, hope you understand. Now I want to do C. All right, C, let's read the question. A lane that will be built to connect P and S, and the lane is perpendicular to the road that connect PQR. Find the gradient of the lane. Okay, I need to find out where's the lane first. So the lane is built to connect P and S. So let's draw a line joining P and S. Okay, I'll use red color line. So let's call this lane, right? This red color line is lane. And what is this lane? This lane is perpendicular. Perpendicular means 90 degree, right? 90 degree, perpendicular to the road that connects PQR. Okay, this lane, PS lane, is perpendicular to PQR. It means this is 90 degree here, right? And whenever you see 90 degree, you have to automatically think about this formula, M1 times M2 equals -1. Because when two lines are perpendicular, then it means the both line gradient, when you times the two lines gradient, you will get -1, right? It means that later I can find the gradient lah. And yeah, they memang mau cari gradient of lane. So what do they mean by find gradient of lane? It means they want to find gradient of PS lah, right? But you cannot find the gradient of PS directly. Actually can, because you have point S, right? 0, 6, right? You just find it lah. So gradient of PS is what? Like just y minus y over x minus x. So it's like 6 minus 0 over 0 minus 3. So the answer is -2, all right? But wait, 6 minus 0 over 0 minus 3. Okay, I feel like there's something wrong with this question. I don't know, but yeah, there's something wrong with this question. It's very weird, like how they asked, right? Like, why would they mention perpendicular if we already have the two coordinates, right? So it's like pointless to mention is perpendicular, right? Okay lah, but I'll just do what I think what I think the orang yang buat soalan ni, what I think they want is they want us to find the gradient of PQR and then use this formula, right? Otherwise, because why would they mention the word perpendicular? It's the only reason, right? The only reason is because they want me to use this formula. So I'm just gonna follow what my intuition here. I just find gradient of PQR first, right? And the way to do it is take any 2 points along the line and use the formula y minus y. So 12 minus 0, divide x minus x, 9 minus 3, and you end up with 12 over 6, which is 2, right? But then this is the gradient of PQR. I'm trying to find the gradient of lane, which is gradient of PS. So let's call this M1. How to find M2? Okay, you can use this formula because M1 times M2 equals -1, right? So M1 times M2 equals -1, and then the M1 is 2. The other gradient will be -1/2, right? So if you look at the schema answer, the answer is -1/2, right? But the weird thing is if you find it directly, you don't get this answer. You find it directly, you get 6 minus 0, 0, you get -2. Okay, so I think there's something wrong with this question, right? Even the B question also is a bit weird because just now also they give us ratio, but then okay lah, you can use the darab silang point C formula, right? But there's also another method to do it, which is just sub inside the equation. Okay, but that one you end up with the same answer lah, right? But this one is like a bit weird the way they ask, right? Okay lah, but I'm just gonna leave it like this. All right, so they want to find gradient of lane, so this is the answer, right? This is the answer. All right. One more thing I want to mention is what if they want to find equation? Okay, if they want to find equation, then you have to use formula y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1, and then the gradient you also need, and then for the x1 y1, you just sub any point yang passes through lah, right? Okay, so for this answer, for this question, I think I'm done already, right? Okay, so hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, I will do number 3 now. So number 3a, a function f is defined by fx equals x squared minus 3 for x in between 0 and 3. So this is a quadratic, right? X squared, okay, quadratic. And they want to restrict the domain, or you can say the object. They want the first point x coordinate to be 0, the last point the x coordinate must be 3. And then they say draw the graph of f on the given axis in the diagram 2. Okay, when you sketch, you need to draw some points. Okay, you need to draw some points. So I will draw some points now. Find some points, draw a table and find some points, right? Because without points, you cannot draw the graph, right? All right, so I will just draw a line like this and then find some points, right? And you don't have to find a lot of points, but you need to find all the important points, right? Okay, let me tell you what important points you have to find. Okay, actually, before you find the points, let me ask you this first. How will the shape of the graph look like? How will the graph look like after you draw the graph? It will look like this, right? Why I say like this is because it's a quadratic. So you will not get a straight line or no, it will not be a straight line. Quadratic, it will be like this. And why is it not like this? Is because the A is positive. When A positive, the shape is like this, like a smiley face. All right. Afterwards, you also need to know that the B of the equation is 0. Do you realize the B is 0, right? So I mean the A is 1, but the B is 0. It means later your y-axis will be here, exactly middle like this, and this will be -3. Okay, it means the minimum point later will be 0, -3, right? But you can only draw the y, you can only do like that, you can only draw the y-axis in the middle like this when the B is 0. Okay, because when the B is 0 means the axis of symmetry will be y-axis, right? Only if the B is 0. If it's not, then don't assume like that, right? Okay, it's okay. I will find some points, then later you will understand. So here I'll write x, here I'll write y. So first thing, I will find some points lah. All right. What are the important points you need to find? Okay, x-intercept and y-intercept, right? X-intercept, y-intercept you need to find, right? And also, if they got want us to restrict, they want the first x coordinate to be 0, the last x coordinate to be 3. It means you also have to find the starting point and the ending point. And one more point you have to find is the turning point. If it's quadratic, you need to find turning point, right? The turning point. All right. So first, I will just look at the range. So they want the first point, the starting point to be x0, and then they want the last point to be x3, right? But you also have to ganti find the x-intercept, y-intercept, right? And how you do that is you sub x0, y0. But do you realize this 0 and this 0 is same? So you don't have to buat dua kali lah. It means your starting point and your y-intercept is the same point. It means your starting point is a y-intercept. Okay, makes sense, right? Because the starting point is x equals 0. It means later this y value here, that y-intercept, that's the starting point. It means later your graph will just be like this only. It will not have this part because your starting point is at x equals 0, which is here, right? So that's why you end up like this, right? Okay, and you have to sub y equals 0 because you need to find the x-intercept, of course. And also you have to sub x equals 3 because that's the last point, right? The last point lah, the ending point, right? So you need that. And one more point you need is the turning point, right? But you don't have to find turning point. Let me tell you why. Because the b is 0. And do you remember when you find turning point, you can use this formula, negative b over 2a, to find turning point. But imagine if your b is 0. It means it doesn't matter what's down here, you will end up with x equals 0. It means that your turning point will be, your turning point x coordinate will be 0, which means, which is this one lah. Like you already do x0. It means this point is not just the starting point, it's also the y-intercept and it's also the turning point. Make sense? Because the turning point also x equals 0. That is why you it means like your your y-intercept and your starting point and your turning point, all these three things, all these 3 points is at the same location, is the same point, right? That is why you only need this three, that's why you don't have to find any other points anymore. This 3 is enough. You already find out all the important points. Now your job is to just complete this table and then start plot. So when you sub x0, you know it's -3, right? Because 0 squared is 0, 0 minus 3, -3. When you sub y0, you will get square root 3, right? Square root 3. Okay, if you're asking why, is because when you sub y0 means the whole thing equals 0. So x squared minus 3 equals 0. Oh, y and fx is the same thing. So if I say y0 means the whole fx 0. Okay, so now it becomes x squared equals to 3 and x equals to square root 3, right? But I think it's better if you change to decimal, because later you have to plot this. So let's press calculator and write in 2 decimal place. So it's 1.73, right? So I will write 1.73 here. So later I have to plot this. Okay, and of course we also have to find when x equals 3. So when you sub inside, it becomes bracket square minus 3. This one is 3, right? So what is 3 square? 9, 9 minus 3, 6. And don't forget, this is the ending point, right? And this one no need already. Yeah, this no need already, right? Okay, we already have all our important points, right? So what are the important points? The starting point, the ending point, the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and also the turning point. If it's a quadratic lah. Yeah, if it's a quadratic, if it's like the equation got power 2, then you should always find the turning point. All right, now let's plot all these points. So number 1 is say draw the graph on the given axis. All right, so we can plot now 0, -3. Okay, don't forget, this is the what point? This is the y-intercept of the curve, but at the same time, it's also the starting point and it's also the turning point, right? Okay, 1.730, I can just roughly lah, because there's no lines here. So it's no point you go and try to measure, like no need lah, just 1.73. So it's like just lebih kurang agak-agak lah. And then 36, so this one is 1.730. 36 is the ending point. So 36, this is the last point, right? Okay, but when you join, you don't go and put a straight line like this. Don't do that. I already tell you this is a quadratic curve, so it should look like this. But why the point is like this is because you start drawing from here, right? That's why it's only like half a curve, half of the quadratic curve. So it has to have a curve shape, right? It has to look like a curve. So I will just start joining all the points like this, right? Like something like this. Okay, the full curve look like this. This is how the full curve looks like, right? But they only want you to draw, they want to restrict, they only want you to draw from x0 until x3. That is why it's only half a curve, right? Okay, so sudah siap. Now we can do, okay, let's label it lah. So this one is fx, right? Okay, what else they want? Draw the graph. Okay, dah siap lah. Okay, done. All right, now let's do question number 2. Number 2 says draw the graph of f inverse on the same plane and state the domain of f inverse. Okay, if you want to draw f inverse, what you have to do is you have to reflect this curve using the line y equals x, right? Let me explain. When you want to draw f inverse for any, when you want to draw the inverse graph for any graph, what you do is you just reflect this graph using this line. Okay, this line is the y equals x line, right? This line will passes through 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, like that. That's why it's called y equals x, right? So let's make it longer. So that you have to reflect using this line, right? But why? Why have to reflect using this line? Okay, let me explain why. It's because when you do f inverse, your x coordinate and your y coordinate will terbalik. It means your object and image will tukar tempat. So instead of 0, -3, now it becomes -3, 0. It means now your x coordinate becomes -3, your y coordinate becomes 0. Understand? So it becomes like -3, 0. It means now this is your point already, right? And you can see this point is actually the reflection of the 0, -3 on this line, right? So now you understand. Same concept here. The 1.730, when you want to sketch the inverse for this, you just terbalikkan your x coordinate and y coordinate. So now it's not 1.730, it becomes 0, 1.73. So 0 is here, 1.73 is like lebih kurang here, right? And you can, and as you can see, this point and this point, they are reflection of each other on the on this line, right? This line we call it y equals x, right? So now you understand, right? Why I said the F inverse will be the reflection using this line. Okay, the last point is 3, 6. So this is the point, right? But when you reflect, it will become 6, 6, 3, right? Basically, you just terbalikkan the x coordinate and y coordinate lah. Or you can, or can do it using reflection like this. Just count how many kotak, 1.5, 1.5, and then you get the point. All right, now you can join all these 3 points. And of course, when you join, you don't go and it has to have the shape also. So the reflection shape will, okay, you can see this one look like this, right? So when you reflect also, this is the correct shape lah, like this. And then it will go straight like this, right? And this is the F inverse graph. So this is how it looks like, right? Okay, so I think that's all right. Draw the graph of F inverse. Okay, done. But oh, they want you to state the domain of F inverse. Wait, what's domain? Okay, do you remember just now? They give us fx, they give us x in between 0 and 3. This one is domain lah. Yeah, this is the domain lah. It means what is domain? Domain is like a range of x. It's a range of x, right? It means you have to look at the first point and the last point punya x coordinate. X coordinate, not y coordinate. Because domain means x, right? So I'll just write my question 2 answer here. So they want domain, right? So the domain would be x in between something lah. But for f inverse x, so let's look at the f inverse first point. What's the x coordinate? -3. And then until what's the last point? This one, what's the x coordinate? 6. So the domain would be x in between -3 and 6. And that's all. And that's all. That's the answer. All right. Okay, I think I'm done with this. Now we can do part B. All right, part B says what? Okay, I'll just scroll down a bit. All right, so B is this one. So I will write down the information. Fx equals to 1 over 2 minus x. And they say x not cannot equals 2. Yeah, because this one is the undefined case. Because if x is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, you can't divide by 0, right? Okay, but this one you don't have to write in your working later, right? The undefined case no need to write in your working. Okay, find the values of m such that this one, all right, I think I have to write this down. F bracket m minus 1 equals to 1 over 2 f equals m. All right, I can start doing this question now. Okay, I know some student they will say like, oh, sir, have to find f inverse x first. Because in order to do because if I don't find f inverse, I cannot find the f inverse m, then I cannot ganti masuk here, right? But actually no need. You want to find f inverse can also, right? But there's another better method. There's another method where you don't need to find the f inverse. Let me show you. On the left side is f bracket m minus 1. So this is function f. This is also function f. So they are both same function. It means they are both same family. It means I can write down the 1 over 2 minus x down like this. But of course, you have to be careful lah. You cannot write x because the bracket x now already changed to m minus 1. So the x here also have to change to m minus 1. And you will end up with 1 over 2 minus m plus 1. Because of negative, negative, jadi positive, right? And then you continue here, it becomes 1 over 2 minus m plus 1, which is 3 minus m. Because 2 plus 1 is 3, right? But what about the other side? Okay, the other side is 1 over 2, okay, just right, times with f inverse m, right? So I know a lot of you will say like, hey, sir, I need to find f inverse x first. Then only I can use the f inverse function to find to masuk m dalam itu jawapan, right? Okay, actually, yes, can also if you want to do like that. But there's a better way because this 1 over 2, you can actually pindah to the other side. Yeah. So the 1 over 2, when you pindah, it becomes times 2 like this. So it becomes times 2 like this. And here also becomes times 2, right? So later it becomes 2 times 1, which is 2 over 3 minus m, right? So can you tell me what's left on the other side? What's left here? It will be f inverse m, right? So I will just write f inverse m, f inverse m, f inverse m, f inverse m, right? Okay, let me tell you, uh, okay, the method I'm showing you is like you don't have to find f inverse one. The reason is because the f inverse, you can actually move it here. Yeah, you can pinna the f inverse. But when you pinna the f inverse, it becomes f. So it becomes f2 over 3 minus m and then equals to m. So the method I'm doing now is like you don't need to, oops, wait, wait for me. Okay, so the method I'm doing now is like no need to find the F inverse one. Okay, because I've been like this. So now it becomes what? It becomes m on this side, and this side I just have to do f bracket 2 over 3 minus m. And if you want to do this, you can just look at your fx, right? So fx is 1 over 2 minus x. This one is also function f, so they are like the same function, same family. It means I can write down 1 over 2 minus x, but you have to be careful because the x, you cannot write x anymore because the bracket x already changed to something else. It changed to 2 over 3 minus m. So the x here also changed to 2 over 3 minus m. And now you can just continue, and then you will find your m eventually. Okay, first I will do yang bawah sini dulu. Okay, let's make it into a single fraction. So 2, this one, the denominator is not same. So if I want to I can make the denominator same, make the denominator both 3 minus m, then I can write it as a single fraction. So it becomes, the 2 also have to times 3 minus m lah. So it becomes 2 times 3, 6, 2 times negative m, negative 2m, and don't forget to write minus 2 like this, right? Equals to m. And then now it becomes m. Okay, 1 bahagi this one, it means 1 darab this one terbalik. So when you terbalik, you get 3 minus m, and then 6 minus 2 is 4 minus 2m, right? So now you end up here, and now you can continue. Okay, I need more space. Oops. Okay. Okay, actually, can I do it down here? Okay, I'll just do it down here. All right. So let's continue here. So you understand, right? This one, how I get here is because if I say 1 divide 6 minus 2m minus 2 over 3 minus m means 1 times this one terbalik lah. Yeah, that's why I terus jadikan 1 times this one. So it just flip terbalik. All right, now how to find m? Can get rid of fraction first. So it becomes 3 minus m. So I continue here. So 3 minus m over equals, right? Equals. Oops. So it becomes 3 minus m equals, and this whole thing move up. So it becomes 4 times m, which is 4m. Negative 2m times m, negative 2m square. And when you see square, it means this is a quadratic. It means you have to pindah everything on one side equals 0 and then press calculator. Okay, negative 2 have to, the m square have to tulis dulu lah. This one I have to write first. The next one you have to write m. So what is negative 1m minus 4m, negative 5m, and then plus 3 equals 0. Okay, sampai sini you can find your m. You have to press calculator and you get two answers here. M equals. And then here you have to write bracket equals 0, right? Okay, let's press now. What's the A? 2. What's the B? Negative 5. C is 3, right? It means you factorize lah. All right, my calculator give me 3 over 2 and 1, right? So that's the answer. M is 3 over 2, and then the other M is 1. Okay, but make sure you write the bracket. So how you write the bracket, you have to pindah balik in reverse. So the 2 pindah balik jadi 2M plus 3, pindah balik jadi minus 3. Excuse me. And then M plus 1 pindah balik jadi M minus 1. All right, so your M has two answers. So what they want here, find the values of M, right? So two answers, because they say values, right? Got S. So both answer also you have to take, right? Okay, so I hope you understand what I did here. Okay, for those students that want to find F inverse dulu, can also, okay, you will get the same answer, right? But I do it in another way lah. I never find the F inverse, right? All right, so hope you understand. Let's continue. All right, I want to do number 4 now. So number 4a, what it says, the quadratic equation x squared minus 8x plus 7 has roots h and k, where h is bigger than k. Okay, soalan A, find the value of h and k. It means find the roots lah. Find the x1, x2 lah. Okay, so let's write down the equation first. X squared minus 8x plus 7 equals 0. Okay, this is already in general form, so that's good. But then it says has roots h and k. It means that the x1 is h and the x2 is k. Okay, the roots, or you can say the solution. Okay, roots means like the x answer. Okay, the solution of x, the solution for x. All right. Okay, but they say h is bigger than k. So what you can do? Well, you can do SOPO, but it's very slow if you do SOPO actually, because you already have your equation. Your equation is already complete. And if you want to find the x1, x2, you can just factorize in your calculator. Just press the A tekan 1, B tekan negative 8, C tekan 7. Right? So it's faster if you just do it like that. So let's press. A is 1, B is negative 8, C is 7. Okay, my calculator give me 7 and 1, right? So you just write x1 equals 7, x2 equals, why I write h? You know it's 7 and 1, huh? All right, and then don't forget to write bracket here, and you have to pindah balik in reverse. So it becomes x minus 7, x minus 1, right? So you can see you already have your x1, x2, right? But which one is h, which one is k? Well, since they said h has to be bigger than k, then h confirm is 7, k confirm is 1. Because they mentioned here h is bigger than k. So obviously h is 7, right? Okay, actually, I want to mention for the question A, you can also do it another way, which is doing SOPO. Okay, means you take the x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a, x1 times x2 c over a. But it will be a bit slow lah. It will be a bit slow to get the answer, but you will end up with the same answer, right? But when I look at the marks, it's only 2 marks, then that's why I just do it the fast way lah, right? But if you do SOPO, can also, right? Okay, let's do B now. Hence form a equation. Okay, this one no, this one I will use SOPO lah, right? This one I will do the SOPO method. So form the equation which has roots h plus 3 2k minus 1. Right? Okay, so what is the x1, the roots? H plus 3, which is 7 plus 3, right? So the x1 is 10. And then the other roots will be x2, which is 2k minus 1. And the k is 1, right? So the x2 is 1, because 2 times 1 is 2, 2 minus 1. So this one is the roots, 10 and 1. But I want to form the equation using these roots, right? So how can we form the equation? Actually, there is two methods also. You can do using SOPO, right? Yeah, you can do using SOPO, or if you don't want to do SOPO, you want to do it like this also can. Like you straight away put bracket equals 0, and then you pinda in reverse x minus 10. This one do it in reverse x minus 1. And then how you get back the equation is you just expand, right? And when you expand, you will get what? X squared, and then x times negative 1 is negative 1x, negative 10 times x is negative 10x, negative 10 and then positive 10 equals 0. And then the answer will be x squared, x dengan x boleh buat negative 1 minus 10, negative 11x plus 10 equals 0, right? So this is the answer, right? But what if you do SOPO? Okay, can also. But you need to know the SOPO formula first. Okay, SOR formula is x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. POR formula, x1 times x2 equals c over a, right? And then one more formula for SOPO you will use when they ask you to form equation. And the formula looks like this: x squared minus SOR x plus POR equals 0. Right? But when you are forming the equation, when you are trying to form equation, you will not have the ABC. It means you will, yeah, because you are trying to find the ABC, right? Okay, so when you form equation, all you need is just do this side is enough. The x1 plus x2, x1 times x2 is enough already. Okay, because when you form equation, you don't have the ABC ma. So how you supposed to write this, right? So yeah, all right. So let me show you the other method. So the x1 equals to 10, right? X2 equals to 1. So let's do support. The sum of root will be what? 10 plus 1. I already mentioned just now, you don't have to write the negative b over a because you don't have. You're trying to find. If you have the a, b, and c, then you don't need to form equation already. You already know the ABC. Why else? Why would you need to find the equation, right? So the problem now is you don't have. So that's why you just do 10 plus 1. For the POR also, just take 10 times 1. Okay, you will get 10. And then you can use this formula to form the equation. So it becomes x squared minus SOR, but your SOR is 11, so minus 11x plus POR plus 10 equals 0. Okay, this answer is same with this answer, right? So you nak buat cara atas pun boleh, you nak buat cara bawah pun boleh. Dua-dua cara you is betul. Okay, okay, just choose one. Okay, sudah siap. All right, let's continue with number 5A. So 5A, it says convert log base 6, 254 to natural logarithm and evaluate. What is natural logarithm? Okay, natural logarithm is this one, ln, right? Okay, what is ln? ln means log base e, right? So natural logarithm, ln. The n stands for natural, and then l stands for logarithm, right? So natural log we call it. So ln, what's the meaning? Log base e. And e is a number. Okay, e is a number like 2.7 something one, right? But what they want you to do is convert this to natural log and evaluate the answer. So let's follow what they want. How to convert to natural log? Just change to log base e lah, right? And do you remember how to change log base? The formula is you first write the log punya number 254 tulis atas, and then the log base 6 you tulis bawah, and then for the base you can write anything, just make sure you write the same base lah. For atas bawah, you write the same base. But since now they already said they want to change to natural log, so you use base e, right? And after you change to log base e, I told you is ln, right? So it means that this is natural log 254 divide natural log 6. And now you can paste this in your calculator. And you will use the ln button, right? Yeah, there is a button for natural log. So just tekan ln 254 and then divide ln 6. Okay, my calculator give me 3.090 like that. So you write in four significant figure, it'll be 3.090. Okay, the zero have to write, huh? Yeah, because the zero you write is because so that it indicates that there's still a lot of numbers at the back, right? Okay, so the zero I'll write. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, all right. For B, what it says here, log 2 base n is P. Okay, this is information, right? And then what's the other information? Log 3 base n is Q. This is also information. And if you take note here, both the information, the log base is n, so it's good. It means that later I have to if I want to use these two information, my log also have to in base n, right? Okay, what they want now, express log base 3 16 n square in terms of p and q. All right, first thing first is to check the base. Doesn't matter indices or log question. When you do indices log question, you will always check base. And if the base is not same, you will always try to make it same, right? Always, right? So this one, you don't tell me something like, oh, sir, the 16 can change to 2 power 4. Because you know, no, 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 don't do that. It's useless because now your log base is not same with the information. So don't worry about the 16 or the n square. You should worry about the base now, because if the base is not same, you cannot continue. You cannot continue anymore. You have to change base straight away. Change base. So how to change base? I just mentioned it just now, right? So yang log punya number 16n square tulis atas, log punya base 3 tulis bawah macam ni. And then for the base, you will write whatever base you want to change, right? So you want to change the base, what? Base n this case, right? Because you want your answer in terms of PQ later. So of course you will change to base n so that you can use these two information so that you have your answer have P and Q lah, huh? Okay, log 3 base n, I already said you can just put in Q, right? But this atas one, what you can do? Can I write P like that? Cannot lah, confirm cannot. Because P is log 2 base n. This is not log 2 base n. So you will try to change this thing so that you can change to PQ later. So how will I change? Okay, since your base is already same, already base n, but tell me what about 16? Okay, 16, you can change to base 2. Okay, and it's 2 power 4. But why I change to base 2? Why not I change to base 4? Because 16 is also 4 power 2, right? Okay, yeah, it's 2 power 4, or it can change to 4 power 2, can change to 2 power 4 also. But why I choose to change to 2 power 4 is because I have log 2 base n later. If I change to 4 power 2, it's useless because I don't have log 4 base n. So even if I change to 4 power 2, I don't have log 4 base n later, right? The only thing I have is log 2. So that's why I changed to this. But don't forget, this thing I have to times with n square like this, right? Okay, now what I have to do? Okay, a lot of students, they will tell me like, oh, sir, the p straight away sub inside. So straight away write p power 4 like this. Hey, wrong, cannot. You cannot do like that. Reason why is because this whole thing is together like this. The 2 power 4 times n squared is together. So you cannot just like take it out like something, just take out a part of it and then masuk ganti, tak boleh, tak boleh. So the correct way is to separate this thing first, because now it's like everything jumbled up together, everything is together, everything is like mixed up together. So what I want is to separate them. Saya kena asingkan dulu, saya kena pecahkan dulu. So how to pecahkan this? Okay, single log times, you can pecahkan jadi separate log plus. So it becomes log n 2 power 4 plus log n power 2. And we all know what we can do with the power. We can start the depan. So the 2 you can move in front. So the 4 also you move in front like this. So now you get your answer already. It will be 4. Log n2 will be p. So that one. And then plus 2. Okay, log n you can potong jadi 1. So you just left with 4p plus 2 OQ. And that's your answer. Right? That's the answer. Okay. It means walaupun dia bagi dua information, log 2 base n and log 3 base n, but actually there is another information which is log n. Okay, why log n they never write? Because log n is 1, right? Yeah, log n is 1. So even if you can't change to log 2 base n or log 3 base n, then try to change to log n base n. Because log n base n can potong jadi 1. So this one is log n, so potong jadi 1 macam tu, right? Okay, so that's all. Sudah siap? Let's continue. Okay, let's do number 6. All right, what is this? Looks like a linear law question. Okay, diagram 3 shows a curve. Okay, I can see it. Variable x and y are connected by the linear equation y squared equals mx plus n, where the states m and n are constants. Okay, the linear equation they already give me, y squared equals mx plus n. It means this is already in linear form, because they already said linear equation, right? So this is already in the linear form, y equals mx plus c, right? But if you look at the graph is not a linear graph, because linear graph is a straight line one. This one is like a curve. right? And also you look at the y-axis and x-axis. It's not even matched with the equation between y-axis, right? So I think, yeah, this is not this graph is not a linear graph, right? But they give us a value here, and A, they says, right, find the value of m and n. All right, we all know the big M here is the gradient, okay? And then the big N here, this is the y-intercept. But you cannot tell me like, oh, sir, just take these 2 points and then find the gradient. 4 minus 2 over 11 minus 5. Wrong lah, cannot. This M is the gradient for straight line. This is not a straight line. You cannot take these 2 points and do it like that, right? Okay, so let me show you how you should do it. I'll draw a table. Okay, actually you don't need to draw the table. I just draw it because I want to explain using table, right? So what you do is you draw a table, and you need to know that the 5, 2 and the 11, 4, this is not x and y square. This is actually the x and y, because if you look at the x-axis, this is x, the y-axis is y. It means that this 2, this one 5, sorry, terbalik already. This is 5, the 5, this is 2, and this 5 is x, right? And then this 2 is the small y. Same for the 11, 4 lah, right? But what I will do now is I will convert this to because when I convert to linear form, right, there will be, you have to draw a new table, right? You remember this when you do in paper 2? Whenever you do paper 2 linear law, they ask you to draw graph, you will always construct a new table, right? And the new table, you have to refer the new x-axis and the new y-axis. So for this case, your x-axis is y squared against x. So this should be x, this should be y squared, right? So that's why you have to do a new table. So what would be the new table x? Okay, the x is still same lah, 5, 11, right? But the y-axis would be y squared. So it becomes 2 squared, which is 4. 4 squared is 8. That means 5, 4 and 11, 8 is the point that the straight line will pass through. This one is the curve. So we don't look at this when we find gradient, right? We will look at this. This is when after you convert to linear form, the point that the straight line will join, right? So now tell me how to find the big M. You use these 2 points. So the formula for gradient is y minus y, 8 minus 4, divide x minus x, 11 minus 5. The answer will be 4 over 6, which is 2 over 3. Okay, they also asked us to find the big N. So the big N is the y-intercept, right? So how to find the y-intercept? All right, these 2 points, they are both these points are not the y-intercept. So what we can do is, well, we already have the M, so why not you sub inside? So it becomes big Y equals to big M. Big M is gradient 2 over 3, and then big X plus C, right? And the C is actually the N, lah, right? And when you sub in, you just sub the 5, 4 inside, lah, right? Don't sub the 5, 2, don't do that. This is not a straight line. Okay, you cannot use when it's a curve, right? You have to use the point on the straight line, which is 5, 4 and 11, 8, right? So what you do is just sub inside. But when you sub, be careful. The 5, you will sub inside the big X, okay? And then the Y, big Y, you sub 4, right? And for those that want to sub 11, 8 can also. You will get the same answer, right? Both also can give you same answer. Right? Okay, so now it becomes 4 equals 2 times 5, 10 over 3 plus N. And how to find N? Just press calculator, 4 minus 10 over 3, right? Okay, when you press this, you will get 2 over 3, right? Wait, I think I made a mistake. Did I do anything wrong here? Wait, okay, the big M is the gradient, right? So where did I what salah? So 8 minus, wait, y square, right? 2 square is 4. 4 square is 16 lah. What 8 are you? Oh my God. What is this careless mistake? Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. I made a careless mistake. When you take y square, 2 square is 4, 4 square is 16. So this one is 11, 16, right? So the gradient will be y minus y, 16 minus 4, and then x minus x, 11 minus 5, right? Okay, so I made a careless mistake here. So it should be 12 over, what is this, 6. So the m is 2 lah. So actually your equation will be big Y equals to 2x plus n. And when you sub the point, make sure you sub inside the big X, big Y. You don't go and sub inside the small x, small y, because if you do that, later you might make mistake. You might go and put like the y square, you go and put like 4 square, then it's gone already. You shouldn't put 4 square already, because the 4 is like already square already. Okay, so what the correct way is like the straight away, the whole thing you sub 4 already. No need to square already, right? And then for the big X is the whole big X is 5. right? And the gradient is not 2 over 3, right? It's 2. Okay. All right. So now you can find your n. It will be 4 minus 2 times 5 is 10. So 4 minus 10 is -6, right? So this is your m answer, and this is your n answer. And yeah, that's all, right? Okay, now we can do part B. All right, part B says what? Sketch a linear graph of y squared against x. Okay, for sketch question, you don't need to do it in graph paper. You don't have to use square grid even. You just sketch is like you don't need to follow the scale one. Okay, you just sketch saja lah. So let me draw the y-axis and the x-axis. Right, so I'll draw it like this. Okay, we don't have to find points even, right? But actually we know that the straight line will passes through what 5, 4, and 11, 16, right? So okay, let's try to draw the line. Uh, but we all know the equation of the line is okay. What's the equation of the line? So this one, right? Y square equals mx plus n. So the equation of the line is okay, I'll just write here y square equals m, which is 2, and then the big X is small x, and then plus n, so -6. So this is the equation of the straight line, right? Oh, and by the way, the y-axis have to write y square. Yeah, because the y-axis is y square, the x-axis is x, right? And the straight line later you will you will pass through the 5, 4, and 11, 16, right? But usually when we draw graph, we will make sure we draw until the y-axis. And what's the y-intercept? You can refer here, -6, right? So -6 is roughly here, and your line will go up like that one. It will not go down because the gradient is positive. Gradient is positive means the line will be going up. So this is how your line looks like, right? Something like this, right? Okay, I can even the point here to show that it will passes through 5, 4, and 11, 16, right? You don't even have to like follow the scale, just like lebih kurang saja lah. Okay, 5, 4, and then this one is same lah. This one is 11, and then this one jadikan dia 16, right? Okay, but I don't think you have to draw all the dotted lines lah. All right, because this is a sketch question, right? Sketch question, I think is good enough already, right? So you find out the bitasan y-intercept, and you also have points. Yeah, okay, yeah, sudah siap. This is how I would do it, right? Okay, done. Let's continue. Okay, I want to do number 7 now. All right, what chapter is this? I'm not too sure. Okay, let's read the question first. Aliyah sells chocolate bouquet during semester break to cover her study fee amounting 1,400. Okay, let's ignore all the information first. Let's read the whole thing first because I need to know which chapter, right? Otherwise, I don't know which formula I need to use. So let's keep reading. The price of chocolate bouquet depends on the size of bouquets, all right? The price of small bouquet is 50, medium size is 80, and then the large bouquet is RM 100. Okay, the cost of producing our small bouquet is 30 ringgit, medium is 50 ringgit, large is 65 ringgit. Aliyah spent 2,400 for making the chocolate bouquet. Okay, and then the request for small bouquet is 2 times the medium bouquet. What are the minimum numbers of chocolate bouquet for of each size which Aliyah has to sell during the semester break so that she can pay the study fee? Okay, after reading the whole question, I think I know which chapter is this. This is the chapter 3, Form 4 chapter 3, system of equation. Okay, and this one is involved 3 variable, right? Okay, the way I know it is because I read at the last baris here, they say what are the minimum numbers of chocolate bouquet of each size, right? It means later there will be 3 unknown, 3 variable, right? Because got 3 different size, right? So what I'll do now is first thing first, don't look at all this information first, right? So the way I teach my student is I always give them these tips, right? So the way I teach my student is for simultaneous equation, first you need to know what the variable represents, like what the xy represents, what the xyz represents. If you don't know what it represents, it's very difficult for you to write the equation, right? For example, like especially this kind of story question, right? So the first thing is make sure you know what the x, y, z represents first. And I don't want you to just write x equals small, y equals medium, z equals big. Don't write like that. Be more specific. Write more specific, right? So the way I teach my student, okay, I'll give you a tips now. You straight away tengok what the soalan wants to find. It means you straight away read the last baris and see what is the final answer. So what they want you to find for the final answer, what are the minimum number of chocolate bouquet of each size, right? So whatever they want to find, make that the XYZ. Apa yang dia suruh cari untuk final answer, itulah you punya XYZ. So apa you punya final answer? Chocolate bouquet for each size. So XYZ represents the number of chocolate bouquet for each size. So X represents what? Number of what is it? Small size, right? small bouquet, right? Small bouquet. Okay, if you want to write more complete, you can write small bouquet or a small chocolate bouquet lah, right? Can also. All right. Y represents what? Number of the medium one, medium chocolate bouquets. Okay, and then for the last one, Z will be the number of okay, small, medium. Just now, other lagi satu size is large, right? Large bouquet. Okay, now you will read the whole thing again. Yeah, sekarang you baca semula soalan, and now it's very easy for you to write the equation because you already know what your XYZ represents, right? So remember these tips is very useful. Just straight away see what they want and make that the XYZ, and then now when you write the equation, it will be much more easier. Okay, Alia sells chocolate bouquet during semester to cover study fee amounting to 1,400. So this is the amount she needs to earn to cover her study fee, right? So I'll just write here, this one is like, she need to earn this amount, right? And then the price of each chocolate bouquet depends on the size, right? Okay, I think I'll write like this. So we have a small size, we have medium size, we have large size, right? And we already know XYZ represents the number, right? So I'll just write number here, the number of bouquet. And now they give us the price of each size, right? So the price of the small bouquet is 50 ringgit. So 50x. And then medium is, small is, wait, small is 50. Medium is 80. Okay, so 80y. And then the large bouquet is 100. So 100z. Yeah, because these are all price for one bouquet. So you have to times with the XYZ to get the total price. And what is this? This is the selling price. So I'll just write price here, right? Yeah, the selling price. Okay, so I'll just write selling here. Selling. All right. And then what else? What other information I have here? The cost. Now they say cost. The cost of producing is 30 ringgit for small bouquet. Okay, so I'll just put an arrow here and write 30x. And this one is the producing cost. Producing cost. It means the amount you spend to produce the K lah, right? The cost, right? All right, so this one is cost, right? Producing cost. Okay, it will be 30x. Okay, what about for the medium size? Medium size, the cost is 50 ringgit, right? So the total cost will be 50y lah, because 50 ringgit is only for one medium bouquet. So you have to times y. Okay, what about this one? It will be large 65, so 65z, right? Okay, now they says what? Alia spent 2,400 making the chocolate bouquet. It means this 2,400 is the total cost, total producing cost. Yeah, total cost spent on producing the chocolate bouquet, because they say spend on making, right? So making means what? All the producing cost tambah semua equals to 2,400 lah. So I have my first equation now. 30x plus 50y plus 65z equals to 2,400, right? But there will be a three equation I need to write. Now I already write one equation. So let's keep reading. What else? The request for small bouquet is 2 times the number of medium bouquet. So what is the number of small bouquet? X. Okay. And then they say X is what? 2 times the number of medium bouquet. So X equals 2y lah. Because medium bouquet, you use Y to represent, right? Okay, now we have two equation. I need one more equation, right? One more equation. So how to get the other one? I think I have to look at the 1,400, right? Because do you remember this 1,400? I haven't write it just now. So what is 1,400? Is the total amount she needs to earn, right? The total amount she needs to earn, right? Or you can say like the profit lah. But I hope you don't go and take 50x plus 80y plus 100z. No, it's wrong. Because this is the total selling price. But if you sell for 50 ringgit, it doesn't mean you earn 50 ringgit. Okay? Because in order to find out the profit, the earnings, you have to minus with the money you spend to produce, to make it, right? To make the, okay. So if you want to find the earnings, you have to take 50 minus 30. Because to calculate profit, you have to take the selling price minus with the producing costs, right? Then only you can get the earnings. So 50 minus 30 is 20x. 80y minus 50y is 30y. 100z minus 65z is 35z. So this is the total earnings. Understand, right? Why I have to minus? Because when you sell some stuff, let's say you sell for 5 ringgit, you don't earn 5 ringgit back because you spend some money to buy it at first, right? So let's say like you spend 3 ringgit to buy it, but you sell for 5 ringgit, but your earning is only 2 ringgit. Because yeah, that's why you have to take 5 minus 3, right? So it's the same concept here. So understand. All right, so now the total earnings, everything add together, 20x plus 30y plus 35z must equals to 1400. So I'll just write here 20x plus 30y plus 35z. That's the total earnings. And they said the total earning must be 1400. So equals to 1400, right? Okay, I can see that my equation now is, I already done writing all the equation, but the number is very big, right? And I can see that this one can simplify. So I will just uh, simplify this, right? So I will just put an arrow like this and rewrite the whole thing, but this time I will simplify everything nicely. So all these numbers can divide by what? They all can divide by, let's see, divide by 5. Divide by 5, right? Yeah, so you can divide by 5. So let's divide by 5. So what happens when you divide by 5? 6x. 50 divide 5, 10y. 65 divide 5, if you press calculator, you get 13z, right? And then 2400 divide 5, you can use calculator, you get 480. So this is your first equation. Second equation, x equals to y. Okay, this one cannot simplify already. So this one just call it equation 2. Okay, equation 3 is this one. Okay, this one can simplify. All these numbers can divide. 10, okay, 10 cannot, because 35 cannot divide 10. So I think you divide 5 also lah. So 20 divide 5 is 4x. 30 divide 5 is 6y. And then 35 divide 5 is just 7z equals to 1400. And we will, 1400 also have to divide 5, right? So what is 1400 divide 5? Press calculator is 280. And this one is equation 3, right? Okay, sampai sini, now you can start to solve for x, y, z. And you can use the two method you learn in simultaneous equation. You can either use the substitution method, cara penggantian, or the elimination method, cara penghapusan, right? So let's look at this. I will do substitution method, right? But if you want to do penghapusan elimination, can also. Okay, but if you want to do penghapusan, you will take equation 1 and equation 3 hapuskan z lah. That's the best way, right? Because your equation 2 only have x and y, right? So what you can do is you can go to equation 1 and equation 3 because they have x, y, z. You try to eliminate z. And then after you eliminate z, you will end up with one equation yang ada x, y. And take the x, y equation and x equals to y, what simultaneous again, right? But I will not do it like that. I will do the other way, which is substitution method. So how to do substitution? Okay, if you look at this, this the x already single already, x equals 2y. So you can actually just sub this inside this x and inside this x, right? And after you do that, you will end up with two equation with only y and z. And then you do simultaneous one more time lah. Then you get the answer already, right? Okay, so I will write here, sub 2 into 1, right? Okay, so substitute 2 into 1, right? So when I sub 2 into 1, what happens? I will look at equation 1 and I will write 6 bracket plus 10y plus 13z equals 480. And then for the x, I sub with 2y like this, right? Okay, and then the other one, I will sub 2 into 3, right? Sub 2 into 3, right? Okay, and the moment I sub, it becomes what? 4x plus 6y plus 7z equals 280. And then the x we have to replace with 2y. And now you just simplify this. 6 times 2y, 12y plus 10y, 22y plus 13z equals 480. All right, what about the other one? 4 times 2y is 8y plus 6y is 14y plus 7z equals 280. Okay, this one can simplify. All these numbers can divide 7. So let's make the number smaller. Divide 7, 2y. Divide 7, 1z. Divide 7, 40. All right, now I end up with this equation and this equation. And these two equations, you would realize that they both have y and z, right? It means I already making progress because just now I start with 3 unknowns. Now it becomes 2 unknowns, right? So if I do simultaneous one more time, surely I will end up with 1 unknown, right? But you want to do substitution or elimination, up to you, because this question they never say which one they want, right? But I will do substitution again. And I will try to make x, but when you do substitution, you have to make the unknown single, right? And I will make the z single from here, right? It's better because you will not have fraction if you do it like me, because your z will be 40 minus 2y like this, right? Or actually you want to make y single also can, but if you make the y single, there will be fraction lah. That's why I don't like it, right? Okay, so now you have equation 1, 2, 3. Okay, this one you should call it 4 actually. And then the equation 5 is this, right? Okay, now you will sub 5 into 4. So I'll just write here sub 5 into 4, right? And when you do that, you can get your y answer already, right? So it becomes 22y plus 13z, and the z you replace with this 40 minus 2y, and then equals to 480. Okay, now you can find y. So it becomes 22y plus 13 times 40 is 520. 13 times negative 2, negative 26. Y equals 480. Y dengan y boleh buat. So negative 4y. Number dengan number boleh buat, but you have to make it on the same side. So what is 480 minus 420? Negative 40. You can use your calculator. So y equals to 40 divided 4, which is 10 lah. The negative no need to write because negative you want negative positive. Okay, when you have your y10, you can sub inside this equation to find z. So 40 minus 2y, y is 10. So what is 40 minus 20? 20. So your z is 20. Okay, after you have your y and z, now you can find your x. You can sub into either one of this equation, right, to find x. But the easiest one, of course, is equation 2 lah. Because equation 2, they already given x equals 2y, right? So you just sub the y inside. So I'll just write when y equals to 10. Since your x is equals to 2y, so x equals to 2 times 10. So your x is 20, right? Okay, now I'm done with my x, y, z. Now it's time to write the final answer. Okay, this x, y, z, okay, you cannot just write x equals 20, y equals 10, z equals 20, because if you write like that, no one knows what the x, y, z represents. So what you should do is you should write down number of small bouquet like this, right? If you want to get full mark lah, so you should write number of small bouquets. Okay, I need space. Right, let me make space. Okay, so you should write number of small bouquets equals to 20 because x is 20. And then number of medium size bouquets, chocolate bouquets is y is 10, right? Okay, 10. And then the last one, number of large size chocolate bouquets is z, which is 20, right? So this is how you should write it in the exam, right? But if the soalan got give you x, y, z, then you can straight away write x, y, z lah. But if the soalan never write, then it's recommended to not write x, y, z, but write the actual what the x, y, z represents. And in this case, is the number of bouquets. So write clearly like this, right? All right, I'm done. Let's continue. Okay, I will do question number 8 now. So let's see what they want. Diagram 5 shows part of the curve. Y equals this. Okay, I can see that this is a differentiation question. And for differentiation integration question, we will always expand kalau boleh. But this one cannot expand because it's like power 3, right? You never learn how to expand power 3. So I think I'm stuck here. So there's nothing to expand. So let me just write down the equation 205x bracket 8 minus x power 3. All right, now it says A, find coordinates of two stationary points. Okay, wait, what's stationary? Stationary means turning point, right? Okay, turning point. And turning point got, you learn about turning point, that turning point can be minimum, right? Two types of turning point, right? Minimum or maximum. But there's actually another type of turning point, which is called inflection point, right? Okay, but don't worry about it lah. Okay, for now, don't worry about it. So what they want is to find the two turning point. That's all you need to know. So M and N is both turning point, right? But they want to find the coordinate, the exact coordinate. So how to find coordinate of turning point? Of course, you are doing differentiation. So you will use the dy dx equals 0 punya method. Okay, you will do dy dx equals 0, right? But you also learn that you can find turning point by using what? By doing completing the square, right? Like, okay, but I don't think this question you can do like that because this is not, this is differentiation punya soalan. And also this is not a quadratic equation. So I don't think the completing square method works because completing square, you do it when it's a quadratic, when the equation highest power is power 2, right? Okay, so this one, I think the only way is to do dy dx. Okay, how to differentiate this thing? Before differentiate, kalau boleh expand, kena expand. But this one, bukan saya tak mau expand. Saya tak tahu macam mana mau expand, like power 3, how to expand, right? So how to differentiate this? Okay, when the power is not power 2, you can do it like this. Okay, actually this one you have to use the UV formula. You have to use the product rule, right? Okay, I hope none of you do like that. You go and take 3 times 2 over 5, and then 6 over 5x, and then 8 minus x, and then power 2, and then you differentiate bracket minus 1 like this. Okay, I hope none of you do like that. This is wrong. This is wrong. You can only do like that when depan sini tak ada x. Then only you can straight away take the power darab depan macam ni. Okay, when sini tak ada x. But when other x, you cannot do like that. And you can see now, depan sini ada x. So you cannot straight away take 3 darab sini. So that's why you have to use the special UV formula. And this formula, we call it the product rule. The product rule looks like this. u dv dx plus v du dx. Yeah, this is the formula, right? So you will let u becomes this one, jadikan u the 205x, and then v you jadikan dia 8 minus x power 3. And now you apply this use this formula, just write it down. Okay, the formula says salin u dulu, so salin u, so salin lah 205x. And then the formula next thing, it says dv dx. It means you have to differentiate v. But how to differentiate 8 minus x power 3? Well, it's very simple. Just take the 3 in front, and then 8 minus x power minus 1 become power 2. But don't forget to differentiate the bracket. Differentiate bracket sekali lagi, right? So what happens when you differentiate inside bracket? Differentiate 8, 0. Differentiate negative x, negative 1, right? Okay, so done. This is the first part. Okay, now the formula says you have to plus. Plus with what? P du dx. Okay, so let's make space. So I have to plus with v. So let's salin v. What's v? 8 minus x power 3. So just write down 8 minus x power 3. And then afterwards, you have to do the du dx. It means you have to differentiate u. Okay, what is your u? 205x. So what is differentiate 205x? 205. Because when you differentiate uh, x power 1, the answer will just be whatever in front, right? So for this case, it's just 205, right? Okay, sampai sini you boleh darab yang ada satu term, you boleh darab sekali. So those that have one term, you can times them together. So 3 times negative 1, negative 3. Negative 3 times 205 is negative 605x, right? And then bracket 8 minus x power 2. And then plus, okay, the 205 I will write first, and then I'll write 8 minus x power 3, right? Like this. This is how I will do it. Okay, now what I should do? Of course, later I know later I have to I have to take the dy dx answer equals 0, right? Because I'm trying to find turning point, right? But before you do that, you realize that these two terms we can factorize, right? We can factorize. So what we can factorize? 8 minus x power 2 and 8 minus x power 3, you can factorize out the 8 minus x power 2. And also the 605 and 205, you can actually take out 205, right? Yeah. Because when you take this one, divide 205, you will get negative 3x, right? Okay, tak apa, I will just do it first. Later you understand, right? Okay, so let me put big bracket here, and we already factorize out the 205. It means the 205 I sudah keluarkan. So what is negative 605? Divide 205. You get negative 3x. Okay, the x still have, right? In other words, 205 darab berapa dapat negative 605x? Darab negative 3x lah. Because negative 3x times 2 is negative 6x over 5, right? So makes sense, huh? All right, and then 8 minus x power 2, this one no need to write already. Because I already factorized out. So this one nothing left already. 8 minus x power 2, I take out 8 minus x power 2, so nothing left. What about the 205? The 205, I already take out 205. I already factorized 205, so nothing left. 8 minus x power 3, I factorize out the 8 minus x power 2, so left with 8 minus x, right? Because power 3, I take out power 3, I take out power 2, so it's still left with power 1. That's why it looks like this, right? Okay, now your answer will be 205, 8 minus x square, and this one you can just do it lah. X dengan x boleh buat. So negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4x, and then plus 8, right? So this is how your working looks like. But I think I made a mistake. Saya ada buat salah tak? Let me think. Okay, I think I did it correct, right? Negative 3. Okay, is this negative 3x? Yes, right? Because I take out from this. So yeah, I think I did it correct. So now it becomes like this lah. All right. Actually, after you done differentiate, you have to ask yourself one question. You have to ask yourself whether you can factorize any of this or not. If you can factorize, means you are not done yet. You are not factorizing. You are not done yet, right? But actually, this question, it doesn't matter because later you will take the whole thing equals 0, right? So it's like, it's fine if you want to factorize completely. Okay, but I will just show you the proper way. The proper way is to make sure make sure your answer after you make sure the dy dx answer kalau boleh factorize kena factorize lagi. So negative 4 and 8 actually can factorize. So it become 8 minus x square here. This one you can factorize out 2. It means you can divide 2 both. So it becomes negative 2x plus 4, right? Because you already divide 2. But where the 2 go? Okay, the 2 will go here times with the 205 become 405 like this, right? Okay, now I will take the whole thing equals 0 because they want to find turning point.
Okay, let me explain why turning point equals 0. Because when I do turning point means the gradient of tangent equals 0. Gradient of tangent equals 0 means dy dx equals 0. So it doesn't matter whether it's minimum or maximum, the dy dx will be 0. Okay, for turning point, because the gradient tangent 0 means dy dx 0. So I'll just write when mt equals 0, it means gradient tangent 0, it means the dy dx is 0. So 4 over 5 bracket 8 minus x square bracket negative 2x plus 4 equals 0, right? Okay, the 4 over 5, when you move it over, it becomes 0. So it's just left with 8 minus x square negative 2x plus 4 equals 0, right? Okay, the 4 over 5, when you move over, it becomes 0 times 5 divided 4. That's why the 4 over 5 just disappeared, right? Okay, I I want to say something very important here. Please don't go and pindah this whole thing to the other side and then you tell me 8 minus x squared equals 0 like this. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you do like that, your answer will not complete. Because if you do like that, your, like for example, later your x got uh later for example your x got three answer, okay, or maybe two answer. But then if you do like that, then it's like maybe you only get one answer. It means your answer will not be complete. You shouldn't pindah the whole thing like this one, like to the other side. Because do you remember when you do quadratic, when you factorize, right? Like you will get x minus something, like contoh, I just simply write like equals 0, right? You will never take this whole thing pindah to the other side equals 0 one. You will never do that. Because if you do that, it means you end up with one answer only. But sebenarnya ada dua jawapan. But you go and pindah like that, then your answer is not complete already. It means you won't get full mark already. So you understand, right? Why you shouldn't just bring the whole bracket to the other side. So what you should do instead is take the first bracket equals 0 and then take the second bracket equals 0. Yeah, this is the correct way to do it, right? This one equals 0, right? And then find x from both sides. So 4 equals to negative 2 becomes 2x here, so x equals 2, right? And then on the other side, find the x also. When you pindah square jadi square root, what is square root? 0, 0 lah. Okay, and also 0 tak ada plus minus, so can just ignore the plus minus. And then minus x pindah jadi x equals 8, right? But imagine if you pindah this whole thing to the other side, then this whole thing end up disappear already because 0 divide this, and then you just end up with one answer. Okay, and then wrong already lah, salah already, because there's actually two turning point here. M and N. M and N are both stationary point. So you should end up with two answers, not one answer. So now you understand why I said what I said just now. All right, now how to find the y coordinate? You already have the x coordinate of the turning point. How to get y coordinate? You will sub back into the original equation here, right? Okay, so when x equals 8, x equals 2. Okay, I'll do it up here. So when x equals 8, and then the other one is when x equals 2. Okay, how to find the y coordinate? Okay, I sub into this one lah. So it'll be 205 bracket, and then bracket 8 minus x power 3, and the x is 8, 8, right? Okay, what is 8 minus 8? 0. 0 power 3, 0. 0 times 8, 0. 0 times 0, 0. So the first point is 8, 0. This is the first turning point. The other turning point, you will also sub y equals 205x, which is 205 times 2, and then bracket 8 minus x power 3. So 8 minus 2 power 3 lah, because your x is 2. So what is 8 minus 2? 6. 6 power 3, 216. 216 times 4 divide 5. Press calculator. Let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 864 over 5. So very like jawapan yang ada fraction lah. Okay, tak apa, just write. Okay, so what's the turning point here? 2,864 over 5, right? Okay, but the question asks us to find coordinate of m and n. Okay, and mn is turning point, right? So I should tell them which one is m, which one is n. So which one is m? Of course, it's this one lah, the 2,864 over 5. And which one is n? 80 lah. You guys know why, right? It's because m is the x coordinate should be smaller. So 2 is smaller, right? And why this one point n is 80? Because the n has to have the bigger x coordinate because it's further away from 0. And also it makes sense because point n is on the x-axis. That's why the y coordinate is 0, right? So that's why point n is 80, and then the other one, that's the point m. Okay, I already finished part A. These were 4 marks. Now I want to do B. Okay, for B, I'll do it here. All right, what they want. Hence, determine the nature of stationary point n. So it's this point, using the tangent sketching method. Okay, what is tangent sketching method? Okay, tangent sketching method is a method that you use to determine whether it's a minimum point, maximum point, or inflection point, right? Actually, we learn about two method. There is two method. If you want to know whether this point this turning point is minimum, maximum, or inflection point, there's two methods. The method that we most common use is the second derivative. It means you find the d2 by dx2. If your second derivative is bigger than 0, then it's minimum. If it's smaller than 0, then it's maximum. But if it's equal 0, then it's an inflection point. Inflection point, right? So this is one of the way we determine how whether it's a like what's the nature of the turning point, right? But this question they want us to use tangent sketching method. So let's forget about this second derivative. I will teach you the tangent sketching method, right? So tangent sketching method, we have to draw a table, right? Actually, this one it comes out in my I think in Terengganu paper. Terengganu paper or the I forgot which state paper. Yeah, like a recent paper also they ask this, right? Okay, so you have to draw a table, all right? And the table need to have x, right? And it needs to have dy dx, okay? Or okay, I should write sine of dy dx, right? Okay, dy dx first, then only is the sine, okay? The sine of dy dx, right? Sine means positive or negative, eh? And then you after you know the sign for the dy dx, it means you know the gradient tangent positive or negative. It means that you can do the tangent sketching, right? The tangent sketching, right? And then for the last column is the graph sketching, right? Okay, so this is what you have to do lah. For graph sketching method, memang kena buat macam ni. Alright, let me besarkan. Okay, so this one last one is the graph sketching, right? Okay, let's draw some lines. So it will look like this, and then it will look like this. 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 And there will be three column here. Okay, until here only. Wait, until here, until here. Okay, and then this one like this. Okay, I'm done drawing the table. Now I will teach you how to fill in the table and how to use the tangent sketching method. All right, if you want to know whether point N is a minimum or maximum or inflection point, you can use the second derivative method, but they want us to use the tangent sketching method. So the tangent sketching method looks like this. You draw a table, and what's the tangent sketching method means? The method, okay, is like this. First we write down the x coordinate of the turning point, which is 8. But the 8 you write in the middle like this, right? And then you find one point before the turning point. You take 1 point before the turning point and 1 point after the turning point, right? And you take the x coordinate, and it can be any point. Just make sure it's like slightly before 8 lah. So if I am you, I can take 7, and then here I can take 9 like this, right? But if you don't want, you want to take 6, here can also, can also. Like you can put any number you want, right? So you just choose a number slightly before the turning point, the x coordinate of the turning point. So if it's 8, then I will just put 7, 9 like this, right? What's the purpose behind doing this is because later I want to, because I know later this dy because later I know this dy dx would be 0, because this is the 8 is turning point. So when I do dy dx and I sub 8 inside, I will confirm get 0 1. So that's why what's the purpose of me choosing a point before the turning point is so that I can predict how the tangent line looks like before the turning point, right? And before and after. Because we all know this one, the tangent sketching for this case, it will be like this, because the gradient is 0, right? But what if later I end up my tangent sketching, this one ends up like this, and this one ends up like this? It means this one is negative, this one is positive lah. So what does it mean? It means later your graph sketching will be like this lah. It means your point will be a minimum point, right? If it ends up being like this lah, if it ends up being like this, but what if it ends up being like this? It ends up being like this, and then like this. It means this one is positive, right? Because only when the dy dx positive means your gradient tangent positive, then only your line will go up. And then this one negative, then your graph sketching will be like this, then it will be a maximum lah, right? If it's like this, right? Okay, so it depends on the sign of dy dx before and after the turning point, right? Okay, let's find the dy dx first. So we all know how to find dy dx. Okay, we already do dy dx just now. This is the dy dx answer. This one, the one I circle now. So all you have to do is sub 7 inside here, right? Okay, when you sub 7, what happens? 8 minus 7, 1. 1 power 2, 1 also. 1 times 4 over 5, 4 over 5. But you have to times divide. negative 2x plus 4. And the x have to start with 7. So negative 2 times 7 is negative 14 plus 4 is negative 10. And if you press this in your calculator, you get negative 2 times 4, which is negative 8. Okay. All right. Why the 8 I never do? I straight away write 0. Because if you don't believe me, you sub inside. You see, 8 minus 8, 0. 0 square, 0. 0 times 4 or 5, 0. 0 times anything is 0 lah, whatever. So that's why it's 0, right? And how I know it's 0 is because 8 is the x coordinate of the turning point. If it's x coordinate of turning point, definitely when you sub inside the dy dx, you will get gradient tangent 0, 1. Confirm 1. Confirm you get dy dx 0. Okay. Oh, and dy dx and gradient tangent is the same thing. Okay, so make sure you know that. All right, now I will sub 9 inside the dy dx. Okay, when I sub 9, it becomes 8 minus 9, which is negative 1. Negative 1 power 2 is positive 1. Times 4 over 5 is 4 over 5. But you have to multiply with negative 2x plus 4. But the x sub 9, right? So 9 times negative 2, negative 18. Negative 18 plus 4, negative 14. And you can do this. You will get 4 times negative 14, which is negative. Okay, press calculator. 4 times 14 divide 5. Okay, my calculator give me 56 over 5. But actually, we don't care about the value. We only care about the sign. That is why this column is to write the sign. So what do you think? This one, the sign is negative, right? So negative. This one, the sign is negative also. So how will the tangent line looks like if the gradient is negative? It will go down lah. Okay, because if the dy dx sign is negative, means the gradient tangent is negative lah. So the line gradient like this lah. You all know this, right? If the line, if the line gradient is positive, the line will go up. If the gradient is negative, it go down like this, right? Okay, so that's why if it's negative, it will go down. Okay, for this case, it's negative also, so it's like this, right? So the graph sketching will not be like this. It will not be like this, and will also not be like this. Because you can see that if I join these three lines together, it will look like this, right? Yeah, this is what it looks like. And your turning point, point N, this is the point N, 80. Right? Is it 80? I forgot. Yeah, 80, right? And you can even see it from the graph here, right? It's exactly the same result what I get here, right? So what we have to write here, the conclusion is what? So determine the nature of stationary point N. So we don't call this minimum or maximum. We only call it minimum when the graph sketching is like this. Then it's minimum. If the graph sketching like this, we call it maximum. But if it's like this, you call this maximum is not correct because this is not the highest point. You call it minimum also doesn't make sense because it's not the lowest point. So this point we call it inflection point. So what I have to write here is dot 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 point N 80 is an inflection point. All right, inflection point. In Bahasa Melayu, it's called titik lengkok balas. All right, I'll write for you in Bahasa Melayu. Titik lengkok balas. Right. So let me just repeat one more time for you to understand. Determine the nature of point N. So you need to know nature of turning point. You need to know there's three types, right? It's either minimum point or maximum point or a inflection point, right? If you use the second derivative method, you just differentiate 2 times and then sub in the x coordinate inside. If you get positive, it's minimum. You get negative, is maximum. If you get exactly 0, then it's inflection point. That one is kalau guna second derivative method. But kalau guna tangent sketching method, you have to draw table and then do the tangent sketching and predict the shape by joining these three lines. And if the line is like this, down, static, down, then it's inflection point. Ataupun what if you get like this, up, static, up. This is also inflection point, right? Yeah. It means if you end up is like negative, static, negative, ataupun positive, static, positive, then it's inflection point, right? But if you get positive, static, negative, it means what? Positive, positive, static, negative. It means maximum lah, right? Or what if you get negative and then static and then positive? That one minimum lah, right? It means that kalau satu positive, satu negative, then it will be like minimum or maximum. But if it's like both negative, like negative, static, negative, or positive, static, positive, then it's inflection point. All right. Okay. I hope my explanation makes sense to you and you understand what I'm trying to tell you here. So make sure you know how to do the tangent sketching method because this comes out a few times already in the trial paper. Right. It's not the first time I do this already. In my previous video, I forget which video lah, but I also explained about this. All right. Okay. I think I explained it enough already. So I'll continue now. Okay. Okay, let's do number 9 now. Okay, number 9. Let's read the question. Okay, I will write my working. Okay, I'll just write here lah. Okay, 9. Shami did a survey on the percentage of pupils in a school who use school bus to come to school. So this guy, he makes survey and he want to check how many students use school bus to go school. It is found that 42% from a school use school bus. So this is probability, right? Because they give you percentage, percentage and probability, they are linked together. So if I say percentage is 42%, means the probability is 0.42. Okay, because 42 divided 100. And what is this probability? Probability of school bus. Like going to school, I've just read bus, right? Okay, when they give you probability, you can always find the other probability, right? So I need you all to have one habit. You kena biasa buat macam ni. Kalau dia bagi probability, terus cari the other one. Even if the question never ask, also just do it. Just do it. It's good, right? It's good to have this habit. So please make sure you do it. Every time they give you probability, just find the other one. Even if the question never asked, just do it. So what is 1 minus 0.42? You press calculator, you will get 0.58. And the 0.58 will be probability of what? Probability of going school with not by bus lah. Okay, like you go school, because this one is probability of going school with bus. This one is probability of going school not with bus lah. Like that, right? Okay, now let's keep reading. A sample of 3 people is randomly selected from the school. So I think the 3 is the n, right? Yeah, the n is 3, right? And then it says this discrete random variable x is binomially distributed or represented as x b 3p. State the value of p. Okay, I think it's very clear already. What chapter is this? It's a probability distribution chapter. And under probability distribution, there is binomial distribution, there's normal distribution. And this question is already very obvious. It's a binomial distribution question. They even put the word binomially here. So you know it's binomial. And under binomial distribution, you learn about 4 formula, right? You learn about the probability formula, the mean formula, the variance formula, and the standard deviation formula, right? But what they want here is they want you to write down the P. They want you to find the P. And it's very easy actually. Because, okay, if they give you like this notation, XB and 3P, you need to know that the number in front represents N. And this represents P, right? So the N, they already write 3, which is correct. The N is 3, right? But the P, they never write for you. And you need to know the P stands for probability of success, right? Tapi masalahnya, which one is probability of success? Is it 0.42 or 0.58? Both of these is probability, but which one is the probability of success? Okay, the way I teach my student is, I will always tell them, if you want to know which one is success, you will read the last baris. Usually they will tell you in the last baris which one is success, right? But if you read the last baris here, they never mention here, right? Because they mention it up here. Do you remember Shami did a survey on the percentage of people in the school bus who use school bus? It means if you go to school using school bus, then it's considered success. It means the probability of success is probability of going with school bus. That's why the P is 0.42, right? So my point here is you will just remember this. When you want to know probability of success, always look at the last baris. Most of the time they will give you in the last baris one. It's just that this question, their special skate, they give it like somewhere up here, right? So you have to read the question and see what is this person trying to, like, what is considered success lah. And in this case, it says here it did a survey to see how many person go to school using school bus. It means that the probability of success is probably of school bus lah, right? Okay, I hope my explanation makes sense to you. Let's do B. Complete a binomial probability distribution table for the number of pupils who use school bus in table 1. So I think this one, they yeah, it's here, right? So they already sediakan the table for me. Okay, but this value they never find for me, so I think I have to find myself, right? Okay, so let's write down the N 3, and what's the probability of success just now? School bus, so 0.42, and then the Q is 0.58. Okay, now we have my NPQ, and the B, they want you to complete this table, right? Okay, I think they want me to draw graph. Yeah, if you look at part C, they ask you to construct graph, right? So I think I have to find out this probability. Okay, so I have to find probability Px equals 2, and I have to find probability Px equals 3, right? And then right here, the answer. Okay, all right. Of course, we have to use the probability formula. Okay, what's the formula you learn? Px equals x equals to ncx p power x q power n minus x. This is the formula that you learn in binomial distribution, right? All right, so let's use this formula now. ncx, so 3c2, bracket, bracket. The first bracket is p 0.42, next bracket is q 0.58, and the power here will always be the same with the number down here. So 2, and then the power here will be 3 minus 2, which is 1. Okay, what about this one? Same thing, 3c3, bracket, bracket. This one is 0.42, 0.58. The power here would be same with the number down here. So 3 and then 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, now just press in calculator and then write your answer. Right? Okay, let me press. Wait for me. 3 times 0.42 power 2 times 0.58. Okay, my calculator give me 0. Ayo, got a lot of decimal place. Okay, I will write 2 decimal place. You know why? Two reason. There's two reason why I will prefer to write in 3 decimal place. First reason is because their answer here also write in 2 decimal place. That's why I write 2 decimal place. Another reason is because later you have to draw in graph, right? And usually when we draw graph, you will always write in 2 decimal place because you need to plot the points later. If you write too many decimal place, it's very hard to plot, right? So when you plot graph, remember always write in 2 decimal place. Okay. All right. Next one. So this one is 0.3069 actually, but I write in 2 decimal place. That's why it's 31. Okay. What about this? Okay, the 3C3 no need to press because 3C3 if you tekan is 1. 0.58 power 0 is also 1. So just tekan 0.42 power 3 is good enough already. Okay, let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 0. Okay, if I write in 4 significant figure, it will be 0.74088, so 0.9 like this, right? But later I have to plot this point, so you will only write 2 decimal place, so 0.07 like this, right? Okay, with this I can already get 2 marks because they want the part B, they only ask us to complete the table and it's worth 2 marks, so done already. Now we can do part C, construct the graph for this distribution in diagram 6. So I have to draw the graph lah. Okay, the x-axis would be this, the y-axis would be this, right? So I will go here, the y-axis, I'll write the probability for x equals r, and then the x-axis would be the x, right? The x. Okay, so what's the x? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another thing to take note here, usually when you put 0, you will be always here, right? The 0 will be always here. But for this type of graph, the binomial distribution graph, you have to make sure you make space for 0. It means the 0 cannot be at the origin. It has to be like here. Because later, your x, it can be 0, 1, 2, 3. It means that when x is 0, there will be a probability also. So that is why it's important that the 0 you write here. You don't start with 1 here. You start with 0. Because later, sini pun ada point. Because later when x is 0, there is probability for x 0 also, right? If you write 0 here, then later you can't see the line if you put here, right? So the correct way is to start the 0 here so that later you can plot the points like this, right? Okay, now let's choose a scale for the probability for the y-axis. So for the y-axis, later I have to plot these points, right? But you have to figure out a scale, right? So what is the highest number here? 0.42, right? 0.42 is the highest. So you can go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 lah. Yeah, like this, right? And then later if you want to plot 0.42, you just go 0.4 and then tambah 2 kotak lah. 0.4 plus 2 kotak is 0.42, right? Okay, now I think I can start to plot the first point, 0, 0.2. This is easy. 0, 0.2 is here. It means when the x is 0, the probability is 0.2. That's what it means. Next one, 1, 0.42. So 1 is here. 0.42 is just 0.4 plus 2 kotak. Why plus 2 kotak? Is because 1 kotak is 0.01. Because the difference here is like plus 0.1, right? So if you want to know the 1 kotak, you will take 0.1 divide 10, right? Divide 10. Oh, by the way, this one have to write 0 here. Okay, the y-axis 0 is here, but the x-axis 0 is here, right? Okay, so 1 kotak kecil is 0.01. So 0.4 tambah 2 kotak is 0.41, 0.42. So yeah, that's why it's like this. All right, next one. 2, 0.31. Let's go. This is 2. 0.31 is where? 0.3 naik 1 kotak. Okay, tambah 1 kotak. Okay, because 0.3, when you plus 0.01, you get 0.31. Done. So remember, 1 kotak is 0.01. Okay, last one, 3, 0.07. Where is it? 3 is here. 0.7 is, okay, you naik sampai 0.1. What is 0.1 minus 1 kotak? 0.1 minus 0.01 lah. And if you press calculator, 0.1 minus 0.01, you get 0.99. Okay, 0.9, 0.1 minus 0.01. Okay, yeah, 0.09. I said 0.99, sorry. Okay, so you should use your calculator and you will get 0.09. What if 0.09 turun lagi 1, 0.08, turun lagi 1, 0.07. It means in total you have to 0.1, you have to minus 3 kotak. Then only you can get 0.07. Okay, now it's time to join. But please don't join like this. Hey, come on. this is not a continuous random variable. If it's continuous, then all the points will be connected. But this one is called a discrete random variable. Discrete random variable means all these values, they are not connected to each other. So the way to draw it is like this. You just draw a straight line like this to represent that this is the probability when x 0, and another line to represent this is the probability when x is 1, and then when x is 2, this is the probability, and then when x is 3. This is the correct way to do it, right? Okay, I think I'm done, right? So ada apa lagi yang dia mau ah? So construct the graph, 2 marks. Okay, done already lah. Finish already, right? And I label everything correctly already. The x-axis I label, y-axis I got label. Yeah, sudah siap. Okay, let's continue. Okay, now we are at number 10. So this is which chapter? The differentiation integration chapter. Okay, actually, to be more specific, it's integration, right? Okay, let's read. Diagram 7 shows part of curve y equals fx. Okay, I can see it. This is the curve. And then which passes through H047. Okay, so passes through 2 points. All right, now what it says here. Okay, if this is H0 means this is H, this is H, right? And if this is 47 means what? It means if you butcher down here, this would be 4. And if butcher here, this is 7, right? Okay, but let's see what the A says. Given that the area of shaded region is 22, find the value of integrate h to 4 fx dx. Okay, for this type of question, I always tell students, don't look at what they want first. You'll get confused if you focus too much on this. So don't look at, forget about what they want. Just look at the information. Yeah, just start from the information. So what's the information? Area of shaded region is 22. And let's focus on the information. So area of shaded region means this one is 22, right? So I will try to change this to the integration. I'll write this as a integral, right? So can you tell me how to find area of shaded region? Okay, the formula to find area is you will integrate y dx. If you want to integrate towards x-axis, you use this formula. If you want to integrate towards y-axis, you use this formula. Okay, so it depends on you integrate towards x or y. Okay, for this question, you will integrate towards y-axis or you will integrate towards x-axis. Towards y or towards x? Which one? Towards x, right? You have to integrate towards x. Let me tell you why. If you integrate towards y, it becomes integrate 0, 7, and then dy here, right? Because you integrate towards y, right? And here you have to put x. And do you realize you don't have x? Look at your equation. How you supposed to find x? You want to do f inverse y, but you don't even know what's the y. So it's like you get stuck here. And also, if you look at what they want you to find, it's like integrate something dx1. So it doesn't, so if you do dy, it doesn't help, right? So that's why you have to integrate towards x, right? But then if you integrate towards x, you can't find the region directly already. You know why? Because if you integrate towards x, uh, because if you look at the shaded region is in between the curve and the y-axis, right? It's not in between the curve and x-axis. Okay, the only region in between curve and x-axis is this region. This is the only region that is in between curve and x-axis, but this is not even the shaded region. This is the region that I don't want. This is the region I don't want. So what I can do is I will integrate towards x-axis to find this, but I will find the area of rectangle so that I can minus the red color region, then equals to 22. So I repeat, find the area of rectangle minus with the red color region that I don't want equals to 22. How to find area of rectangle? Just take 7 times 4. Okay, yeah, just take 7 times 4. And then minus with this one, you use integrate method. And this one, you will integrate towards x-axis equals 22, right? So when you integrate, you will integrate the curve equation. And since you integrate towards x, you will use this formula, which is dx. And here you will write y, right? But you know, they say y is fx, right? So you can just write fx, right? Okay, what about the limit from where to where? It will be from h to 4. Okay, yeah, like this, right? And do you realize the what you write here is exactly the same as what the final answer want you to find. Can you see this and this is the same thing? It means you can find this just by pindah, then you can find it already, right? Okay, the 7 times 4 is 28. And this thing I want to find, this is my final answer, right? But now it's negative. So it's better to make it positive, right? So you can pindah to the other side, it becomes integrate h4 fx dx. And the negative, the minus here, when you move over there, it becomes positive already. And then the 22 move here, become minus 22. So the answer is 6, right? It means integrate h to 4 fx dx is equals to 28 minus 22, which is 6, right? It means the red color region area is 6. That's what it means, right? Okay, let me just give you one tips. I can give you one tips here. So remember, when you do integration question, you try to check the equation is y subject or x subject. Okay, apa maksud saya? It means you try to check the equation, the curve equation, whether it's like y single or x single. If it's y single, you use this one. You integrate towards x. If it's x single, then you use this one, right? Most of the time it's like that one. So if you know these tips, it can actually help you a lot, right? That's how I do it most of the time actually. I would straight away look at the curve equation and take out there y equals or x equals. And if it's y equals, I know very high chance. Actually, like I can say confirm lah, almost confirm. If it's y equals y in terms of x, confirm you do this one, right? Like yeah, if it's x in terms of y, then I will do this because it's easier to sub if it's x in terms of y, right? Macam tu lah, Alright. So the reason why I know is because no, this one have to integrate towards x is the same reason because I look at the equation straight away, right? Alright. So this is worth 2 marks. Sudah siap? Oh, one more thing. When you integrate using the x-axis, you have to check whether your shaded region is above the x-axis or below. If above, then your integration answer will come out positive. But if it's bawah x-axis, your integration come out negative. So this one is positive lah because the red color region is atas x-axis. But if it's bawah, you have to put negative here, right? Okay. All right. Let's do B now. Okay, B, is it related to A? I don't think so. So I can just skip the whole part and do it here. Okay, B. In a certain day, the rate of what? The rate of temperature increase theta with respect to time t is given by this. Okay, let's write down d theta over dt equals to, okay, let's expand this lah. 1 over 2 times 12 is 6. 1 over 2 times t is 1 over 2t, right? Okay, now they says what? Find theta in terms of t. It means they want to find theta lah. Okay, they want to find the equation for theta. But in terms of t, if theta is 4, t is 6. Okay, actually this one I know how to do. You just integrate this. Yeah, integrate this, right? Let me explain why. Because this one is differentiate theta over dt. It means this is actually the differentiation answer from theta in terms of t. Because when you have an equation theta in terms of t, when you differentiate, you will write d theta over dt. Okay, so if you want to reverse it back to the theta equal in terms of t, you have to integrate, right? You have to integrate. So what I have to do now is I will integrate, and the way I explain it is like this. This d stands for differentiate. When you move over here, it becomes integrate. This is the integrate symbol, and then 6 minus 1 over 2t, and then this dt when you move dia tulis atas. Okay, okay. Sekarang dia duduk bawah, but when you just imagine it lah, when you pindah dia duduk atas, right? So now it becomes data equals. Now you have to integrate this. Okay, before I integrate, I want to ask you, is this a definite integral or indefinite integral? Kameran tentu or kameran tak tentu? This one is kameran tak tentu. In English, we call it indefinite integral because there's no numbers here, there's no limit here. And if there's no limit here, later belakang nanti you have to write plus c, and you have to find the c later. That is why they give you the theta 4 t6. This theta 4 t6 is for you to find c later, not now lah, but later. After you integrate, simplify everything, you need to find c, and you need this theta 4 t6, right? So this is for you to find c later. Okay, let's integrate now. Integrate 6 is 6t, right? Yeah, it should be in terms of t. You don't go and write 6x, 6t, because then it's dt. So it'll be 6t. And when you integrate number, you just letak t saja. Okay, integrate 1 over 2t means you will take the power plus 1. So t power 1 plus 1, t power 2 over 2 like this. And then tutup bracket. And since this is kameran tak tentu, indefinite integral, there's no numbers here, you have to write plus c. Right? So now you end up with theta equals to 6t. Okay, this one you can take atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah, you end up with t square over 4 lah, plus c. And I told you just now, right? You have to find the c. Because the soalan asks for theta in terms of t. Theta in terms of t. It means the c you have to find out lah. You cannot just, if you leave it like this, then it's not in terms of t already. This one is in terms of t and c. So tak bagus. I want in terms of t only. So how to find the c? You sub in the value lah. Theta is 4 ma. So just write 4 equals to 6 bracket minus bracket square over 4 plus c. And this t you just sub in 6 like this. And now you just find your c. After you find your c, rewrite the whole thing, then done already. Okay, 4 equals to 6 times 6, 36. Sec square 36 divided 4, 9 plus C. And your C will be 4 plus 9. Because minus 9 jadi plus 9. And then minus 36. What is 4 plus 9 minus 36? Press calculator. My calculator give me negative 23. Right? So that is the C. Okay? But the soalan never asked you to find C. The soalan asked you to find theta in terms of T. So you should rewrite the whole equation. Refer here. Theta equals 6t, write down, minus t squared over 4, write it down, plus c, okay, you already find c, negative 23, so just write minus 23. And that is your answer. That is your answer, that's all. All right. So, sudah siap. Okay, done. Okay, let's continue. 11A, I'll do it up here. Let's read the question. Find number of ways to arrange each word paru and para if no repetition is allowed. And then are the number of ways the same? Explain. 3 marks. Okay, let's write down paru. P-A-R-U. So 4-letter word. Another word is para, right? So I need to find out the number of ways to arrange both these words. But they say no repetition. It means one letter can only appear one time, no repetition. And they asking are the number of ways same. Okay, I still don't know yet whether same or not because I haven't find the number of ways. Okay, let's find the number of ways. All right. They never. Okay, I think it's arrange all letters, so it's 4 letters. If the soalan never mention how many they want to arrange means arrange all, right? Same with this lah. They never mention, right? They never mention like, oh, choose 2 to arrange or 3 to arrange. It means arrange all, right? Okay, if you want to find the number of ways to arrange 4 objects in 4 different slots, it will be 4 factorial, right? So PARU, arrange here, right? So ada berapa cara? PARU, PAUR, RUAP, RUPA, APRU, like banyak lah. But you don't have time to list all of it. Just do 4 factorial. Or you can say 4P4 and you get 24. Okay? It means that there is 4 ways to choose for this slot, 3 ways to choose here, 2 ways here, 1 here, times, which means 4 factorial lah. So in total, there's 24 ways. Okay. And also they say no repetition. That's why it's like 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. If they say can repeat, then it will be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. All right. Okay. Okay. But for this one, it's like that. All right. Let's do for the other one. Same here. It will also be 4 factorial because got 4 option and 4 slot, right? But wait. Look at this word, P-A-R-A. You can see that A and A, what we call this? Identical object. Dalam bahasa Melayu, object secaman. Object secaman means when there is 2 identical object, 2 object is same, right? Identical, same object. So when there's 2 identical object, the formula you have to use is n factorial divide A factorial, B factorial, C factorial, dot, 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 where the A, B, C represents the number of identical object. Right? So in this case, what's the number of identical object? 2 factorial, right? But this formula, they got B factorial, C factorial, is because sometimes there is more than one set of identical object, right? Like for example, maybe not the A sahaja yang identical, maybe P also got identical, right? Then you have to divide lagi lah, right? But in this case, only the A is identical. It means there's only one set of identical object, and the number of identical object is 2. So this is how you do it. And if you press this, you will get 12, right? It means there's 24 ways to arrange the word paru, but 12 ways to arrange the word para. So now I can answer the question. Are the number of ways the same? The answer is no. So dot 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 no, right? Yeah, they're not the same, right? But they want to explain, right? So I'll just how to explain? Okay, just make up a sentence lah. Just write because, right? Because the word para, the word para has identical objects, has identical objects A. Okay. I think if you write like that, it's good enough, right? Okay. Even though they both have 4 letters, but the number of ways to arrange is not same because there's identical object here, right? So why is it not the same? Because the word para has identical objects A. Yeah. So this is good enough, right? And you also show the working already. So that's enough to explain why they are not the same. Okay. So 3 marks for this. Okay. Sudah siap? Okay, let's do B. B is what is this? A team of 5 members will be selected. Okay, when you see the word selected means this is a permutation combination chapter and you have to use C later. Because select means the order is not important. It means like you are choosing member. Choosing member, we don't use permutation to do. We use combination. All right. So later have to use C lah. Okay, you choose how many members? 5 members. Selected from expedition to an island from a group of 4 swimmer and 3 mountain climber. So swimmer, got how many person? 4. And then mountain climber, I'll just use short form lah, mountain. And then how many? Berapa orang? 3, right? So can you tell me 4 and 3 if I gabung, got how many person? 7, right? But I only want to choose 5. So if no condition means 7 C5 lah. Out of 7 C5. If no condition. What is the meaning of no condition? No condition means semua swimmer pun boleh, semua mountain pun boleh, campur pun boleh, apa pun boleh, like anything, just campur anything, no condition. So number 1 they say what? No condition. So 7 C5, right? Okay, press this in your calculator, you'll get 21. Okay, number 2, what it says? Uh, if swimmer must be more than mountain climber, then this one cannot do 7C5. This one you have to pecahkan the option, right? So we have 5 members that we need to choose, right? But if you want the swimmer to be more than mountain climber, it means the swimmer must be at least 3. Yeah, it must be at least 3. Because if it's 2 swimmer, then the remaining 3 will be mountain and it's not good already because they said swimmer must be more than mountain climber. This one is usually 2 less than 3, right? That's why it has to be sekurang-kurangnya 3 swimmer. Because if it's 3 swimmer, how to cukupkan 5? You need 2 mountain climber, right? So this one got fulfill the condition. Or you can also say 4 swimmer. But if it's 4 swimmer, how many mountain climber? If you want to cukupkan 5 orang mah, so 4 orang sudah choose another 1 left lah for the mountain climber, right? Okay, what about 5 swimmer? Okay, 5 swimmer is not possible because there's only 4 swimmer. If 4 swimmer, how to choose 5 from 4 swimmer? It's not possible. If you tekan 4C5, it will give you math error in your calculator. So this option is not possible. So it's only these 2, right? So now I have to open bracket, and then later plus, right? Okay, how to choose 3 swimmer from 4? 4C3, and then 2 mountain from 3 mountain, so 3C2, and then times them together. Same here, swimmer 4, choose 4 also, so 4C4. 3 mountain, but I only end up choosing 1 and then times them together. Okay, press this, then you will get the answer. All right, this one you get 12. This one you get 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. Right? So that's the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's do number 12. This looks like a circular measure. Okay, let's go. Diagram 8 shows a sector OAB of circle with center O. All right, so this is a sector. So sector consists of 3 lines, radius, and arc. And the radius mesti sama panjang lah. All right, the point C lies on OB. Okay, check tengok. Okay, betul. Such that OC ratio OB is 3:5. You should label this. But when you label, make sure you bulatkan, you circle, because this is ratio. So OC ratio is 3. This one is OC, right? 3 bulatkan. OB is 5. But you don't get right 5 here. This is not OB. This one is C to B. So OB is 5. So OB is like the whole thing, right? So what is the ratio for C to B? It will be 5 minus 3, which is 2, right? And also, I want you to know, this panjang and this panjang will be sama. It will be same length, right? So can you tell me what is the ratio for OA? It's 5, right? Walaupun I tak tahu panjang dia berapa, I don't know how many cm. You don't tell me like 5 cm. This is not 5 cm. This is just the ratio, right? But we do know it will be equivalent to 5 because radius and radius will be same length, right? Okay, but we still don't know the length because they never give us anything in cm right now. So it's okay. Now let's do A. So A says what? Calculate the value of theta in radians. So they want to find theta, right? Okay, this is circular measure chapter. Circular measure, you learn about all these formula. You learn about first formula is S equals R theta. This formula for arc, find the arc. Next formula is the 1/2 R square theta. This formula is to find area of sector. Next formula you learn is 2R sine theta over 2. This is the formula to find the chord. Okay, the length of chord ataupun perentas. Perentas. And then the last formula you learn is the area of segment, which is 1/2 R square theta minus sine theta. Right? These are the formulas that you learn in this chapter, right? But I want to ask you, can you use the first formula to find theta? No, because the soalan never mentioned about arc, right? If you want to use this formula, you need to have the arc, okay? And also you need to have radius. Then only you can find theta. So I don't think you can use the first formula. It's not possible, right? So what about the second formula? Soalan ada mention pasal area sector tak? Did the soalan mention anything about area? No, I don't think so. So this formula cannot. What about chord? Did you see anything about chord here? No, I don't think so. What about the area of segment? No, they never mention anything. They never give you anything about regarding area. No. So all the formulas that you learn in this chapter cannot use. All the formula cannot use. So it's like you don't know what to do, right? Okay. Actually, when all the formula don't work, you will look for right angle triangle. Okay. Yeah. In this chapter, memang macam tu. Like if you cannot use all the formulas you learn in this chapter, you cari right angle triangle, because right angle triangle you can use Pythagoras theorem or you can use trigonometry, right? And you can already see it. Where's the right angle triangle? Let me highlight it for you. It's this right angle triangle, right? So what do you think? Will you use the Pythagoras theorem? No, don't do that. If you use Pythagoras theorem, you can find out the ratio for AC, okay, which is 4 lah, but it's useless. That's not what they ask. That's not what they want. They want the angle. So you should use trigonometry, and you will use the Sokato formula lah, but which one? Will you use sine, cos, or tangent? Okay, depan sudut angle kita panggil opposite, depan 90 kita panggil hypotenuse, and then the last one we call it adjacent. So if you want to find angle, you need to have any two sides, right? And the only two sides you have now is A and H. So use cos. So cos theta equals to what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, so 3 over 5. Okay, I know some student will say, hey, sir, but this 3 and 5 is not the actual length. It's not in cm, it's just a ratio. But it's fine, because in the end, even if you get it in cm, when you simplify, when you potong, you will end up with 3 over 5, right? You understand, right? Because this one is in fraction, right? So it's in fraction. So you can use the ratio, right? Because later, okay, later maybe the actual length is not 3, but maybe it's 6, right? And then the actual length for this 5 maybe is 10. But in the end, when you simplify, you get 3 over 5 also. So it's like you can do it like this, right? Okay, how to find theta now? Just tekan shift cos 3 over 5, right? Okay, shift cos 3 over 5. Let me press. Okay, I usually write in degree minute. Oh, and by the way, when you tekan shift, sine shift, cos shift, tangent, your answer will automatically come out in degree minute. It will not come out in radian one. If you tekan shift, sine shift, cos shift, tangent, your answer will never come out in radian. Okay, it will always come out in degree. So it's 53 degree 8 minutes, right? Okay, so that's how you do it. Oh, I want you to know something. When you tekan shift cos, and if your answer is positive here, there's actually two answer. One answer is in quadrant 1, the other answer is in quadrant 4. And the other answer would be, if you want to get the other answer, you have to take 360 minus this, right? But you don't have to do that for this chapter. Yeah, for this chapter, you don't need to do that. It's because this chapter, I mean, when you tekan, I mean, this is a right angle triangle. So it doesn't make sense when it, they will not have quadrant 4 angle inside the right angle triangle one, right? It will only either have quadrant 1 or quadrant 2 angle inside the right angle triangle. Okay, so that's why you will ignore the other answer. All right, they want to find value of theta in radians, so you shouldn't stop here. You should continue and take this times with theta over 180, because that's how you convert to radian. Okay, but the pi, they never say use 3.142 or what. Okay, but, but for this chapter, usually we use 3.142. So I'll just use 3.142, but I will use the answer button. So answer times 3.142 divide 180. Okay, my calculator give me 0.9274. Right? So I will write 0.9274 and the unit will be radian. Okay, and this is the answer for A. Okay, sudah siap. Now let's do B. So B says what? If the radius of sector OAB is 18, so the radius panjang here is 18, here also 18, right? Because this both is radius. Calculate the area of shaded region. Okay, how to find area of shaded region? Okay, this shaded region is not a segment. It's not a segment. It's not a segment, right? Segment is not like that one. Segment is like this, right? Segment only consists of two lines, arc and chord, right? This shape is not a segment. So the way we do it is we have to find area of sector first. Okay, area of sector means the area of the whole thing, minus with the area of triangle. This is how you do it, right? Cannot use the area of segment formula because this is not segment, right? Okay, area of sector formula is 1 over 2 r squared theta. R would be the radius 18. Theta has to be in radian, so 0.9274, right? Okay, let me make space. 0.9274. Okay, this is how you find area of sector minus with area of triangle. Okay, area of triangle, you can use which formula? Let's see. I have this panjang, and I have the angle here. So I can use the formula 1 over 2 AB sine C. This formula you learn in Form 4 chapter 9. the solution of triangle chapter. So you can use this formula to find. So 1 over 2 AB sine C, right? What's the A and B? It will be two sides. One of the side is 18. Okay, the other side here you can find it. Because this one, O to C, the panjang is what? It's actually 3 over 5 times 18. So I will just put an arrow here. I want to find OC, right? It will be 3 over 5 times 18. Why is it 3 over 5? Because O to C is 3 out of 5, right? Because the total ratio is 5. So 3 over 5 times 18. Lah. Okay, if you press this, you'll get 54 over 5. It means the OC panjang is 54 over 5. So this one is 54 over 5. And then 1 over 2 AB sine C. And the C has to be the angle in between the two sides you use. So the included angle will be this angle. Lah. But this one, if you're using this formula, you have to put in degree. So it has to be 53 degree 8 minutes, right? Okay, I will continue down here. So equals, okay, now I'll press this and then I'll write here, right? Okay, let's press 18 square times 2. I mean times 2, divide 2, and then times with 0.9274. Okay, my calculator give me 150.2388. This is still not the final answer, so I don't want to round off first. Okay, I write the whole thing first, right? And then minus with what? Minus with this area of triangle. So you can use your calculator. 18 divide 2 is 9 times 54 divide 5 times sine 53 degree 8 minutes. Okay, my calculator give me like a lot of decimal place. So I'll just write 4 lah. Okay, because takkan lah you nak tulis semua. So 77.76 like this, right? Okay, now I will use the answer button. I will press 150.2388 minus answer. So let's press 150.2388 minus answer. Okay, my calculator give me 72.4748 because the next digit is 5, so you round off. So if you write in 4 significant figure, this is the answer, cm square, right? Okay, let me sudah siap lah. Ini sudah betul lah. Okay, let me say tambah sikit. For the area of triangle you can also use the formula 1 over 2 times base times height. But this has to be the base, this is the height lah. But I never do it like that because I realized I have to use Pythagoras theorem to find the height. But can also. Okay. But if you want to use that formula, you have to use Pythagoras theorem to find the height and then take 1 over 2 times base times height. You will get the same answer if you do like that, right? Okay, but the method I use is a little bit different. I use the 1 over 2 AB sine C formula, right? It means you just take any two sides, and since you already have two sides and the included angle, so I straight away use this 1 over 2 AB sine C formula, okay? All right, hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, this is bahagian B. So this is trigonometry, right? Okay, they say bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, I will jawab all of it. Yeah, I will jawab all of it, right? But in exam, you don't jawab all of it lah. You only choose 2, unless it's like you have time lah. But just choose 2 only, okay? Because they will only choose, you will not get extra marks for jawab 3 soalan. They will only give you full mark for 2 soalan. Okay, let's do it. Given that sine A is 3 over 5, cos B is negative 24 over 25, A is acute angle, B is reflex angle, find 1 over sec A, cos A minus B, 3 cos A over 2. Okay, for this type of question, you need to draw. Because this type of question, they are not asking you to find angle. So I don't want to see any of you go and tekan what shift sine 3 over 5. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. You will only do that if the question asks you to solve. It means they want you to find angle A, angle B. You shouldn't do like that for this type of question. Because this type of question, they are giving you like something A. And then they are asking you to find something angle also. Right? So you can see something angle, something angle. So what you should do for this type of question is you have to draw. If you don't draw, you cannot do all these 3 questions, right? So the thing I want to do now is to look case, right? Even if the question never asks to draw, also you need to draw. Okay, I will draw 2 cross. So this is the first one. And then the second cross, I will draw it here, right? Okay, when we draw, we have, why 2 cross is because there's 2 different angles, right? Okay, the first angle is A. So which quadrant is my angle? So you can determine by looking at the sign of the answer. So if they say sine angle is 305, 305 is positive. So we all know add sugar to coffee. So if it's sine positive, sine give you positive means quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Okay, only quadrant 1, quadrant 2 gives you sine positive answer, right? So it's either quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. But which quadrant? Okay, if you keep reading, they mention here, A is an acute angle. Acute angle, it means sudut tirus. Sudut tirus means less than 90. Less than 90, confirm quadrant 1. So confirm your A is quadrant 1. So later, draw a line in quadrant 1, tarik to x-axis, and This is your angle A. Now it's time to label the 3 and 5. Okay, this is sine. Sine punya formula is SOH. SOH means opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is 3, hypotenuse is 5. Okay, depan angle kita panggil opposite, depan 90 kita panggil hypotenuse, the remaining adjacent. And the O I already know is 3, H is 5. So why not you just write now? So this one is right 3, this one right 5. And then the adjacent, I don't know, right? But you can find it by using Pythagoras theorem. But should you find it now? Yes, you should find it now. Okay, you don't tell me like, hey sir, later the soalan suruh tanya baru cari. No, 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 no. Don't do that. When you are doing this kind of question, when you have two sides, straight away find the remaining side. Okay? Just find it. Okay? Just find it. Even if the question never asked, just find it. How to find Pythagoras theorem? Square root bracket square minus bracket square. Why minus? Is because you are not finding the longer side. You are not finding the longer side. You bukan tengah cari hypotenuse. So you should ambil, you should minus. Alright? And siapa minus siapa? 5 minus 3. Because the 5 is the longer side, right? The longer side is always the hypotenuse. It's always the one in front of 90. The one opposite 90 is always the longer side. Okay, if you press this, you will get square root 25 minus 9, 16, which is 4. It means the adjacent is 4. Okay, now I'm done with my first lukisan. But there's another angle. It means you have to lukis for another angle, which is cos B. Okay, how to know which quadrant? Same like just now. Add sugar to coffee, but this time your cos angle gives you negative. So if cos positive, cos positive is 1 and 4. Yeah, because add sugar to coffee, right? So all positive, cos positive 1 and 4. But cos negative would be 2 and 3. So later your angle is either 2 or 3, right? So which one? Which one? 2 or 3? Okay, if you keep reading, it says here B is a reflex angle. Do you know what is reflex angle? Reflex angle means sudut reflex is the angle is in between 180 and 360. It means it can be in quadrant 3, it can also be in quadrant 4. Then we call it reflex. So acute angle, it means less than 90. If obtuse angle sudut cakar. Sudut cakar obtuse angle is quadrant 2. It means in between 90 and 180. But if I say reflex angle, then it's quadrant 3 and 4. In between 180 and 360. Okay. All right. So tell me, where is my angle B now? Is it at quadrant 2 or quadrant 3 or quadrant 4? You will choose the one that overlap. So cos B here is either quadrant 2 or 3. But here is either 3 or 4. So which one overlap? 3, right? So definitely it's in quadrant 3, right? Because the cos has to be negative, and at the same time, it has to be a reflex angle. So it has to be in quadrant 3 lah. It cannot be in quadrant 2 because it's a reflex angle. Okay? How can it be quadrant 2 if it's a reflex angle? And it cannot be quadrant 4 because the cos is negative. Cos negative, how can it be cos negative? It must be 2 or 3. So that's why you will choose the overlap one, which is quadrant 3. So your angle, you will draw a line in quadrant 3 and then tarik to x-axis and then put a 90 degree. And your angle B is not here. Hey, come on. It's quadrant 3. How can it be here? The quadrant 3 angle should be from here to here. This one is the angle in quadrant 3, right? And I always tell students, if your angle is not inside the right angle triangle, you can use the reference angle later. Okay, so you can see that your angle is not inside the right angle triangle, but it's okay. You can find out the reference angle later. Your reference angle will be here, right? Wait, what is reference angle? Reference angle is angle towards x. So if your angle is like this, the angle towards x is this. So later I will just call this alpha lah. The alpha is actually the reference angle for angle B, right? Okay. And for your information, how to find reference angle if it's quadrant 3, you have to take the angle minus 180. And if you take angle B minus 180, it's alpha. Okay? Because when you minus 180, you just left with alpha, right? Okay, but for now, I think I'm done already. Okay, now let's label the 24, 25. The negative don't label inside, because the negative you're trying to label the panjang now, right? Panjang tak ada negative, right? The negative is like only indicates quadrant. So you just look at the value. So cos punya formula is adjacent bahagi hypotenuse because it's kah, right? So depan angle kita panggil opposite. Oh, by the way, we have to use the reference angle because the real angle is not inside the right angle. It's not inside the right angle triangle. So you better use the reference angle, right? And the reference angle is always the angle towards x, right? If the line is here, then the angle towards x is here. Right? Okay, so use the reference angle. In other words, sine alpha and sine B is the same answer. Cos alpha and cos B also same answer. Tangent alpha and tangent B also same answer. It's just that dia punya positive negative tu tak sama saja. Tak semestinya sama lah. Faham kan? Okay, so that's why you can pinjam this angle, reference angle, to write the value, the panjang. Okay, but the negative don't write. Okay, depan angle kita panggil opposite, depan 90 kita panggil hypotenuse, and then the last remaining one we panggil adjacent. Okay, adjacent we know is 24, so padam, place 24. And then hypotenuse, we already know is 25, so padam, today's 25. Then what about the opposite? We don't know, right? But we can find it by using Pythagoras theorem because we have the other two sides. So how to find the remaining side? Just use Pythagoras theorem. I know the question never requests you to find it yet, but just find it now. Just find it now. Okay? Jangan sampai nanti dia suruh baru you cari. Tak mau. Terus cari sekarang. So, bracket square, bracket square. Okay, here is 25, here is 24. Okay, plus or minus? If you're finding the longer side hypotenuse, you will plus. But if no, then you minus. So this one is minus because you are not finding the longer side. This is not the hypotenuse, right? The paling panjang punya side is always the one opposite 90 degree. So this is how you do it. All right. What is 25 square minus 24 square? Square root of 49. And you will get 7 here. It means that this line right here is 7. The panjang is 7, right? And again, the negative, don't look at it because it only indicates quadrant, right? Okay, now we can finally do the A1. Okay, so these are all steps you need to do before you do A1, right? If you don't do this first, then you cannot do you cannot do all these questions, right? Okay, let's do number 1. 1 over sec A, right? Okay, we all know sec can change to what? 1 over cos. So it's like 1 over bracket 1 over cos A, right? So it becomes cos A lah. You know why? Because 1 bahagi 1 over cos A is the same as 1 darab cos A over 1. So when you cut, left with cos A, right? So it means you are finding cos A lah. So can you tell me when you find cos A, you will refer which diagram? You will refer this one, the first one or the second one? Of course, the first one, because this one is about A, right? So let's go to the first one and find cos A. Okay, cos formula is adjacent over hypotenuse. Because ka, right? Cos ka. So what's the adjacent? The adjacent is 4. And what's the hypotenuse? 5. But make sure you double check whether you need to letak negative depan or not. Because sometimes your angle is you have to check the quadrant lah. And sometimes you need to letak negative. But your angle A in this case is first quadrant. And in quadrant 1, all positive. So your cos A will be positive. So that's the answer. Sudah siap. Okay, but sometimes you have to letak negative one. So you have to double check. All right, what about question 2? Cos bracket A minus B. This one you will use the addition angle formula because you have plus minus here, right? So I will write down the addition angle formula for you first. Okay, I'll write it up here lah. All right, the addition angle formula is like this. Cos bracket A plus minus B equals to cos A cos B minus plus sin A sin B. Okay, for my own student, I will ask them to memorize this formula. I ask them to memorize the basic identity, the double angle, and the addition angle, right? So this is one of the formula lah yang they all kena memorize. Oh, by the way, this formula is given in the exam. Okay, so yeah. All right, so let's use this formula now. So this time is cos A minus B. So it becomes what? Cos bracket A minus B equals to what? Okay, the formula says cos A cos B. So just write cos A cos B. But then here they write minus plus. What it means? It means you have to you cannot follow what symbol they write here. It means if here is plus, here has to be minus. If here is minus, here is plus. It means you don't follow the symbol in front. So the symbol in front is minus, right? So don't follow means you write plus. Okay. I repeat one more time. If the symbol minus plus means don't follow the symbol. If it's plus minus means follow. If it's plus minus like this, plus minus, it means follow. If minus plus, don't follow. So don't follow is plus. And then sin A, sin B, just write sin A, sin B. Okay, now I'm done. Now I can proceed. I can continue from here. But I need to refer the diagram later. So this one is sin A, sin B. Okay, now I can open bracket, bracket, plus bracket, and then bracket. Okay, this bracket is to find out cos A. I already do it in just now. Cos A is 4 or 5. Positive, yeah. All right, what about cos B? Okay, cos B, you cannot write 4 or 5 because cos B, you have to refer the second diagram because now we are talking about angle B. But keep in mind, your angle B is actually in third quadrant. Yeah, it's in third quadrant. Okay, but don't worry about that first. Let's write down the value first. But I will empty some space here. I will kosongkan sikit tempat here and then draw a line. So cos punya formula is adjacent over hypotenuse. So look at the reference angle for B and tell me what's the adjacent and hypotenuse. 24 over 25, right? So write it down. But why I ask you to kosongkan some space here? Because you have to check whether it's positive or negative, right? Because the 24 over 25 is the answer for cos alpha. Okay, cos alpha. In other words, 24 over 25 is not cos B. It's actually cos B punya reference angle. But sebenarnya cos B also you will get the same value, but you have to check the positive negative, right? Because B is in quadrant 3. So in quadrant 3, add sugar to coffee, third quadrant only tangent positive. That means cos have to letak negative. All right. So this is the thing that you have to be careful. All right, let's continue. Sine A. Sine A, okay, angle A ma. So use the first diagram. Sine A, the formula for sine is opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite will be 3, hypotenuse is 5. But you have to check whether letak negative or not. But this one no need because angle A is in first quadrant. In first quadrant's all positive. So sine positive. Right? Okay, last one is sine B. Same thing. Leave an empty space here and then tulis dia punya value dulu. So sine formula is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, but you will refer the reference angle because your B now is like outside the right angle already. So you use the reference angle to determine the opposite hypotenuse. Opposite is 7, hypotenuse is 25. But then you have to consider that your real angle is in quadrant 3. Your B angle is in quadrant 3. So quadrant 3 separate positive, tangent. But now you are finding sine, so letak negative, right? Okay, now you can press all this in your calculator, right? And then you will get your answer. All right, what is 4 over 5 times negative 24 over 25? You can use your calculator, right? Okay, you will get negative 96 over 125. And then plus this one also you press calculator, 3 over 5 times negative 725, you get negative 21 over 125. And then now you ambil ini plus minus is minus, right? So take this one minus this one lah. All right, you will get negative 117 over 125. All right, so this is the final answer. Okay, all right, sudah siap. Now we can do question number 3. All right, okay. Number 3, I need space. So where should I do it? Okay, I think I should do it. I will do it down here. Not enough space already here. Okay, I'll just do it here lah, on the side here. Okay, number 3, they want to find cos A over 2. Okay, let's go to the diagram that we draw just now. So you can see that without drawing these two, memang tak ada chance you want to, memang tak boleh buat soalan, semua soalan ni. So for this type of question, remember kena lukis. Alright, how to find cos A over 2? Of course, you already know which diagram you have to look at, the first one or the second one. Mesti the first one because it's about A, right? But the problem is this one is A over 2. It means the A angle cut in half, right? So how to do? Alright, sebenarnya you have to use the half angle formula. Okay, the half angle formula. So let me explain to you. If the angle, because the angle we draw for just now is A and B, right? But if the soalan asks for A over 2 ataupun A over 4 ataupun like the angle they change to another angle, then we have to try our best to convert back to the angle we want, right? So this one is cos A over 2, right? So I have to try my best to convert this to something else so that the angle later is not A over 2, is A. And how to do that? You use the half angle formula. And the reason why I know is because I hafal all the formula already. That's why I even know which formula to use, right? But if you never hafal, it will be a bit difficult for you to see the connection. So let me write down the formula for you. Let me write down the formula for you. So cos 2A, right? Okay, I will erase this. Okay. Don't erase. Don't erase lah. Leave it here. Okay, I will just write the formula for now. So cos 2A, the double angle formula. You can change to cos square A minus sine square A. You can also change to 1 minus 2 sine square A. And you can also change to 2 cos square A minus 1. And I want to cakap sekali lagi, this formula is given in the exam, right? But you should hafal actually. You should memorize it. Because when you memorize it, you can take it out whenever you want, right? And it will help you when you do the soalan exam if you got hafal lah, because you can see the connection very fast. All right, but there is something called the half angle, right? Half angle means the 2A becomes A here, right? It means the angle have to halfkan dia lah. So what happens when you halfkan the angle? It means you try to take the angle bahagi dua lah. So it becomes cos square half A minus sine square half A like this, right? Same with the other one, 1 minus 2 sine square. The angle half kan also. So the 1 minus 2 all stay the same, but the angle become half A. And then the third one is 2 cos square, A minus 1, but the A become half already, right? So the one I write here, this is the double angle formula for cos. But the one I write here is the half angle formula for cos. Okay. So now tell me, I'm trying to find what? Cos A over 2. Can you tell me which formula I can use? Hey, remember, I'm trying to convert the angle so that it becomes A later. Because I only can find out my cos if my angle is A, right? If my angle is A. So now it's A over 2, right? So I have to try my best to convert so that later my angle is A. So which formula I will use? Okay, I'll tell you straight away. It's this formula. Cos A equals to 2 cos square A over 2 minus 1. Okay, let me write down this formula first. Cos A equals 2 cos square A over 2 minus 1. So cos A equals to 2 cos square A over 2 minus 1, right? Okay, don't forget this is the final answer. Huh? This is what they want to find. So how to find cos A over 2? You can pindah. First, you pindah the minus 1 become plus 1. And then times 2 pindah jadi over 2. And then here you left with cos square A over 2. So far so good? You understand what I write? You're just moving the minus 1 jadi sana and then times 2 jadi over 2 like that, right? But don't forget what they want to find. Cos A over 2, right? So what you do with the square? Move there becomes square root. So it becomes square root cos A plus 1 over 2. And then here you just left with cos A over 2 because the square you move there already. So now tell me how to find cos A over 2? You just masuk cos A plus 1 over 2 and then square root the whole thing, right? And why this one is doable now is because your angle becomes A already. Because they are trying to find cos A over 2 and you manage to convert this using the half angle formula and you manage to convert it into something that doesn't require cutting off the angle in half. Because you just have to find the cos A and then plus 1 and then over 2, right? And then square root the whole thing, right? So how to find cos A? Well, just go to the diagram and look at the adjacent hypotenuse lah. Because cos ka. So adjacent is 4, hypotenuse is 5. So it's 4 or 5, right? But positive or negative? You see, I leave empty space here, okay? Because we need to check. So the angle A is first quadrant, some more positive. So that's all. All right, what is 4 over 5 plus 1? 9 over 5. 9 over 5 divide 2, 9 over 10, and then square root the whole thing, right? Okay, but this question, they never said write your answer in a specific form, right? They never say like, have to write like this or macam mana. So I think if you write like this, it's fine also, right? Okay, or maybe some student will say like, hey, sir, this one can square root the 9, so becomes 3 over square root 10. Can also. You want to write like this, can also. Or maybe some student said, sir, what if I rationalize times square root 10? Yeah, can also lah. You get 3 square root 10 over 10 lah, can also. Or maybe some student said, sir, what if I press this and then write in decimal? Can also lah, can also, right? Because the question never said they never said I have to write in specific which form, right? Okay, if you press in decimal, you get 0.9487, right? But it's fine lah. You want to write like this also can, like this also can, like this also can, whatever lah. Because the soalan never said, right? Tapi kalau saya, I think I'll just stop here lah. I think I'll just write like this, right? Okay, but it's fine lah. It's all the same thing, right? Okay, I'm finished with part A. I want to do part B now. Okay, part B, I have some space here. Let's do it here. Okay, they want you to solve. This B question is not same with A. Do you remember A? They never asked me to solve. And do you remember just now I said A have to look case, right? Okay. And do you remember just now when I teach you A, I said what? I said, please don't go and do like what pindah sign to the other side and then tekan shift sign 3. I said don't do that, right? Why I said don't do that is because this question, they never ask you to find angle. They never ask you to solve. Right? So the correct way is not to pindah like this. Is the correct way is to leave it like this and then look case. And then masuk and then label the opposite hypotenuse, look case, and then label and then do it. Right? But for the B question, this one is different because this one they ask you to solve. It means you are actually finding the angle later. Okay? And for this type of question, no need to draw. No need to look case. For this type of question, what you need to know is the normal case and special case. Right? Normal case and special case. Okay, Tapa, I will do it now first, right? So 2 sine square x. Okay, if I am you, I will not change this to 1 minus cos square. Okay, sine square, actually you can change to 1 minus cos square, right? But I will not do that, right? Okay, why you can change this is because of the basic identity formula. But why I never change is because this is already a quadratic equation yang melibatkan sine x. So you don't have to change already. All you need to do is just arrange a bit, arrange in general form, plus 3 jadi minus 3, plus 3 minus 3 equals 0, and then factorize this, right? But when you factorize, you will not get the answer for x. You will get the answer for sine x, right? Because this is a quadratic, and if you look here, this is sine x, right? So it's still not x yet. It means after you tekan, you still have to do some more. Okay, let's tekan first. What is the A? 2, what's the B? Negative 3, C, negative 2. Okay, my calculator give me 2 and negative 1 over 2. So that is my sine x answer, 2 and negative 1 over 2. But you have to leave an empty space here. You have to kosong satu baris and you have to write bracket, bracket, right? And for this bracket, you have to reverse kan, it means you have to pindah balik, right? You have to pindah in reverse. So it's like you have to pindah balik, so it become +2, pindah balik jadi -2. And then this 2 pindah balik jadi darab, so it become 2 sin x. And then -1 pindah balik jadi +1. Right? It means like you pindah back in reverse lah. Okay, now we end up with these two. Okay, now you have to check whether it's normal case or special case. Because later you have to find x. It means you have to pindah the sign. You have to tekan shift sign lah. Okay, so this one is normal case or special case. Sign bernilai 2. Sign answer is 2. This one is undefined. Okay, this one is undefined. Right? If you press shift sign 2 in your calculator, they will give you math error. Okay, because for sin x, the graph looks like this, right? The highest maximum value is 1, the lowest is -1. So anything beyond 1 and beyond here, we don't have any answer. So sin 2 is undefined, math error, okay? Because the sign answer limit is 1 until -1, all right? Okay, what about this one? This one is normal case, okay? Normal case, all right? Okay, when will it be a special case? It will be a special case when sine equals to 0, sine equals to 1, or sine equals to -1. For cos also same. Cos is 0, cos is 1, cos is -1. But for tangent, special case for tangent is only 0. And it means in total got 7 special case. For sine, there will be 3 special case, 0, 1, -1. For cos also 3 special case, 0, 1, -1. And then tangent only 0. So in total got 7 special case. And for special case, you cannot use calculator one. You have to memorize and straight away write down the answer. For example, sine x equals to 1. This one is a special case. And if it's special case, you will not tekan calculator one. You have to memorize. So x equals 90 straight away. Okay, another example, let's say sine is 0. This is also special case, right? So for special case, you cannot press calculator one. If you press calculator, tak jadi one. You have to hafal and memorize. So for sine 0, the answer is 0, 180, 360, right? And there is 7 special case you need to memorize. Okay, but I don't want to go into detail because this question don't require you to use the special case. This question is a normal case. So you can just use the calculator, right? Okay, how to use pindah sign jadi sign inverse. But the negative, jangan tekan. The negative only indicates quadrant, right? Okay, so let's check the quadrant now. Add sugar to coffee. So tell me, if the sign answer come out negative, which quadrant? If sign positive 1 and 2 lah, sign negative 3 and 4. So quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. But first, let's get our reference angle first. When we tekan shift sign, we will not tekan the negative because we are trying to get the reference angle first. So if you tekan this, it will give you 30. But 30 is not the answer. This is the reference angle. So how to get the real angle? Convert to quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay. Okay, how to convert quadrant 1 to quadrant 3? 180 plus. How to convert to quadrant 4? 360 minus. So 180 plus 30 is 210. 360 minus is 330, right? And the last step is you have to combine all your answers here and all your answers here. But since this one is like undefined, so you only end up with 2 answers lah. So this is your only 2 answers, 210 and 330. Okay, so that's all. So that's it, man. All right, let's continue. Okay, I'm doing number 14 now. So let's start with question A. Okay, I think I'll write my working up here for 14A. All right, let's do it. Determine whether square root 16 is a surd or not. Give your reason. Okay, let's talk about what is surd. If you don't know what is surd, you can't do this question. All right, the way I teach my student is I will tell them what is surd. Surd is actually a non-recurring decimal, right? When you think about surd, you have to automatic you punya otak kena fikir pasal non-recurring decimal. What is non-recurring in bahasa Melayu? Perpuluhan yang tak berulang. Perpuluhan tak berulang. Okay? And also it's irrational, right? Irrational means you cannot make it into a ratio. You cannot jadikan fraction. Saya bagi example, square root 4, square root 3, square root 5, cube root 125. Okay, surd tak semestinya square root It can be cube root or fifth root, like any root, right? It can also be surd as long as it's a non-recurring decimal and irrational. So let me press square root 4. If you press this, you'll get 2. So is this a surd? Not surd. Why? Because you get an integer ma. If you get an integer, then it's not surd lah. Surd is when you get a non-recurring decimal. Okay, ini tak ada decimal. Okay, square root 3. Let's press. So you end up with a decimal which is 1.732. Wow, like sangat panjang, right? So it's like 1.732 and then dot 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 dot. It keeps going, and it never stops. It keeps going until infinite decimal place, and it's a non-recurring decimal and it's irrational. So this is cert, right? Next one, square root 5. Let's press square root 5. Okay, what my calculator give you? My calculator give me like 2.236 and also keeps going, right? And it never repeats, the digit never repeats. So this is cert also, right? Okay, what is cube root 125? This one is 5. Okay, if it's 5 means it's an integer, so it's not cert, right? It will only be a cert when you get a non-recurring decimal answer. Okay, perpuluhan tak berulang. By the way, what is perpuluhan tak berulang? Okay, what is perpuluhan berulang? 0.676767 like this lah. Okay, this type of decimal it will also keep on repeating until infinity decimal place, right? But this type of decimal is a recurring decimal because it repeats, right? And it repeats after 2 digit. And also all recurring decimal can change to fraction. Yeah, all recurring decimal are all rational numbers. Okay, because when it repeats automatic it can change to fraction. So if I give you 0.123, this one also can change to fraction. All recurring decimal can change to fraction, right? But if it's a non-recurring decimal and it keeps going until infinity decimal place, then it's a cert lah. Because it's not, you can't change to fraction, right? Okay, of course this is just my notes, so you don't have to write this in your working. You just have to answer the question. So determine whether square root 16 is cert or not. So square root 16, if you press calculator, it will give you 4, right? Okay, so is it a cert or not? No lah, it's not a cert. So I'll just write not cert. Give a reason. Okay, because 4 square root 16 is okay, because square root 16 is 4 and 4 is an integer. Yeah, if you write like this, it's good enough, right? It's an integer. And if it's an integer, then it's not cert, right? Because cert is about is when you get non-recurring decimal answer. Okay, sudah siap. Let's do B. B, they want you to do ln 3x minus 5 equals 6. Okay, I say many times already, ln is just log base E. A lot of students, whenever they see this ln, then they give up already. They say like sangat susah. But actually, if you rasa ln ni susah sangat, you just change to log base E lah. Once you change to log base E, then it's like regular normal question already, right? Just change it to log base E. Okay, how to solve for x? Okay, first of all, if you have log something base something equals to something, you can perform anti-log. You can perform anti-log. What's anti-log? Anti-log means you try to hilangkan the log by pindah the log base to the other side. And when you pindah, the log base becomes the number base. So it becomes e power 6. It means the 6 become power, and then here is 3x minus 5. But I'm trying to find x, so you should take e power 6 minus 5 jadi plus 5 times 3 jadi over 3. Now it's time to press calculator. Okay, I'll teach you how to tekan the e. You tekan shift ln. Yeah, you tekan shift and then tekan the ln button, ln. There's a ln button in your calculator. And then power 6 and then plus 5 and then answer divide 3. Okay, I got my answer 136.1. Okay, let's write 2 decimal place. 136.14. So that's the answer. All right. Okay, this one no need to write in the exam one. That one is just like I just explained to you. I just give you some notes lah. All right. Okay, this is worth 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks only. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's do soalan C. Okay, what is this? They give you like 3 circles like that. Okay. The diagram 9 below shows 3 circles. Okay, I can see it. Circle J has a radius of 6 cm. So J is this one. Okay, so the radius is 6. R is 6. Circle K has a radius of 3 cm. K is this one. So the radius, this is smaller lah. The small circle 3 cm. And then the smallest circle has a radius of R. So I think it's this one, the smallest. The R, okay, this is just R. Okay, so far it's like that. And then they say MN is a common tangent. So this is MN. What is tangent? Tangent means it touches the circle at one point. But they say common tangent and all circle touch one another. It means this circle they touch all 3 circles at one point. Because common tangent means like it's like tangent for semua orang. Common means like for semua orang. Sepunya. So it means like this line is not just tangent to this circle, it's also for the other 2 circles. So it's like tangent for semua orang. So later all these circles will touch this line at one point. And they say all circles touch one another. So they don't touch. Okay, boleh. And then show that the radius is this. Okay, for the show punya soalan you have this will be the answer, right? If they ask you to show, it means they will give you the answer and you have to show them the working step by step how to get this, right? It means later you cannot use this as information. You tak boleh guna ni sebagai information to do this question, cannot. This is not the information. This is the answer. Alright? It means you have to pretend you tak nampak benda ni. You have to buat-buat tak nampak, and you have to find yourself the radius, and you have to show them the working, and hopefully your final answer is this lah. Alright, so they want to find radius r. It means they want to find the radius of the smallest circle lah, right? Okay, I think I have to draw some lines, right? Because if I don't draw, it's like very hard for me to label the 6 tree, right? So I know this is the center, and if I tarik to the tangent point like this would be 6, right? But what if I tarik here? This is also radius, right? This is oh, by the way, this is also another important point, because this point is where these two circles touch. Because they say all circles touch one another. That's why I tarik to important points, right? Yeah, that's why I tarik here lah. All right, and then what about the K? I will also tarik one here, this point, and then I'll tarik one to the tangent point, right? Okay, let's label now. This is 6, because radius mah. And then this one is 6, because radius, same reason. This one is 3, and this one is 3, right? Because radius, okay? Okay, so now I can erase this, I can erase this. Okay, how to find the R? Okay, the R is referring to the radius of the small circle. So how, mm, okay, I remember they said all circles touch one another. So this small circle also, this is also the contact point, right? This is also the point. So I think this is one of the point that is important. So what if I tarik a line like this? Then this line will be 3 cm, right? Right? Because this is also radius, right? And the radius of the smaller circle is r. So what if I tarik until the center of this, right? Let's say this is the center, right? So what is the length here? This small length is r lah, right? Okay, what if I do it the same for the other side, for this contact point like this, if I tarik like this? So what will be the length here? It will be 6, right? From here to here is 6. And then this small one is r, right? But how to find r? Okay, okay. This one is 90, right? It means this is a trapezium, lah. This line is a trapezium, right? Okay, let me draw out the trapezium. So like this, like this, like this, like this, right? So this is 9, because 6 plus 3 is 9, right? And then this whole thing is 6. This one is 3, right? And this panjang, I don't know. Okay, this panjang, it's not r. This r, no. This one is just the radius of the small circle. Okay, so this is 3. But what if I tarik a line like this? Then this will be 3, right? But the whole line is 6. It means I can take 6 minus 3, I get 3 here, right? And since this is both 90-degree, it means this will form a rectangle, and this is 90-degree, and I can find the panjang here by using Pythagoras theorem, right? So what I will do is I will find this using Pythagoras theorem, square root, bracket square, bracket square. Okay, here is 9, here is 3. Okay, plus or minus. Okay, you are not finding the longer side. You are not finding the side paling panjang, so you should minus. And if you press this, what you get? 81 minus 9, 72. It means the panjang here is square root 72. It means the panjang here also same, because this is a rectangle, right? Okay, but how does this help us find r? Let's see. Square root 72 is the length here, right? Okay, so if I tarik a line like this, it's square root 72, right? But I want to find r. Okay, I think I have to add another line here. Okay. It means that here also square root 72 lah, right? From here to here is square root 72. Okay, but the r is okay. I think you have to add a line that is here. I think you have to add here, because when you add the line here, then it means that this line near panjang is also square root 72, right? Do you agree? Because if from here to here is square root 72, from here to here also square root 72, of course, if from here to here also square root 72. But why I purposely draw it here is because I want to involve the r. I want to involve the r in my working, because I'm trying to find r. If you just go from here to here, like how you want to involve r, right? So that's why I try to write like this, right? And you realize if I tarik a line like this, you have two right angle triangle here. Did you see it? One right angle and then another right angle. Let me draw out the right angle in case you can't see it. The first right angle look like this. The other one look like this. It's a bit smaller one. But you don't go and write 6 here. It's not 6. Because if I tarik a line like this, the panjang here is not 6 already. 6 is actually from where to where? 6 is actually from here until the paling bawah. Now I already cut it off here. And what is the panjang here? R. Because when you tarik bawah here, this will be R. Do you agree? Because this is also radius. Because you cut it exactly at the center here. It means the panjang here is 6 minus R. Agree? Because 6 is the whole thing. But minus this small portion R, you get 6 minus R. Okay, what about the panjang from here to here? This one is 6 lah, the hypotenuse, right? And then what about the other triangle? This one. So what is the panjang hypotenuse? It's 3, all right, 3. And then this one, okay, this is not 3, 3 is actually from like the whole thing, right? But you have to minus this small portion, and this small portion is R. So this one is 3 minus R. And we all know that this panjang and this panjang add together is square root 72, right? So that means I can find out this panjang and this panjang using Pythagoras theorem, and then add them up, and then equals to square root 72, right? But how to find the panjang here? Use Pythagoras theorem lah. So square root bracket square, and then this one also square root bracket square, and this one I have to write 6. This one I have to write 6 minus R. Wait, salah. This is not 6 lah, bro. This one is 6 plus R. Okay, I forgot to include the tiny bit because 6 is only until here only. If you want to complete the right angle, it actually has to plus with R. So yeah, I forgot to include the tiny bit. So actually it's this triangle, right? So it should be 6 minus R here, 6 plus R here. Sorry, I terlepas pandang. So this one also I terlepas pandang. It's not 3 actually. 3 is only until here. If you want to form the right angle, it's actually until the center here, right? So it should be 3 plus the small but here, which is 3 plus R, right? Okay, so this is 3 plus R actually. Okay, so now I can use Pythagoras theorem. So now what's the formula? 6 plus R square, and then here is 6 minus R. Okay, plus or minus here, middle, minus. Why minus? Because you are not finding hypotenuse. You are not finding the longer side. The longer side is always opposite 90. So 6 plus R is the longer side. So you are trying to find this. So you are taking the longer side square minus the 6 minus R square like this. This one also same. The longer side you have already 3 plus R, and then you will minus with the other side to get this side, right? So minus because you are not finding the longer side. All right. Now how to continue? Okay, you don't tell me you straight away potong the square root like that. Cannot potong, cannot, right? Because this is plus minus what. If it's times, then boleh lah. Because if it's times, these two you can combine jadi satu, and then you can get rid of the square root, potong macam tu. If it's times lah. But if it's plus, cannot. So what you should do now is don't the square root, just leave it first. Just expand. Just expand whatever inside first. So how to expand this? The correct way is to take 6 square, which is 36, plus with 6 times R times 2, which is 12R, and then plus with R square. Minus bracket. Oh, have to open bracket. Kalau tak ada bracket, salah. And then here's, when you expand, you do the same. Take 6 square, which is 36. And then 6 times negative R times 2, which is negative 12R. And then take negative R square, which is plus R square. This is the correct way to expand, right? Okay, why I say must letak bracket is because later when you buka bracket, it becomes 36 plus 12R plus R square minus 36. And did you realize the minus 12 here become plus 12? Because minus minus plus. And then the plus R square become minus R square. Because minus plus jadi minus. That is why I said you have to open bracket lah. Okay, the 36 and 36 can cut. And then R square minus R square also can cut. So left with 12R plus 12R, which is square root 24R. Right? Okay, but not over. I still have to plus with this one, right? Okay, this one just repeat the same process lah, like just now, right? And then equals square root 72. Okay, expand this. How to expand? First you take 3 square, and then you take 3 times R times 2, and then you take R square. Okay, 3 square is 9. 3 times R times 2 is 6R, and then R square is R square, right? Okay, minus. Okay, if it's minus, this one you have to open bracket. Kalau tak nanti salah. Why you have to open bracket is because it's a minus here. It means later all the tanda here, you have to tukar tanda. Every sign inside the bracket, all have to change sign later. Okay, how to expand? First you take 3 square, and then you take 3 times negative R times 2, and then you take negative R square. Okay, 3 square is 9. 3 times negative R, negative 3R times 2, negative 6R. Negative R square is positive R square. All right, so now it becomes square root. The bracket, open the bracket first. It means you kembang lah. or you can say like you expand, huh? So it becomes minus 9, minus minus become plus 6r, minus plus become minus r square, and then equals to square root 72. And now you can solve this. R square minus r square is 0, 9 minus 9 is 0, you left with 6r plus 6r is square root 12r lah. So I will continue here, square root 12r equals to square root 72. All right, now the problem is how to find r from here, because the soalan asked us to find r, right? Okay, but actually you already know the answer, okay, but you cannot use this as information, right? So your answer will look like this, and you will realize that they never rationalize the denominator, right? So I want you to take note that they never rationalize the denominator. It means later your answer should have square root dekat bawah. So you shouldn't rationalize, right? And you are trying to find r, so don't rationalize and find r. So how to do that? Okay, I want to ask you, can I combine these two square root become like this? 24 plus 12, 36r, like that, can or 36r square? Cannot, right? Mana boleh buat macam ni? Tak boleh ya. Tapi kalau darab boleh. If this one is times, then can. Because if I take square root a times square root b, it becomes square root ab, right? This is what you learn in cert, right? But if it's plus minus, cannot. So if it's plus minus, the only way is to factorize. Yeah, is to factorize. So what you should do is square root 24r means square root 24 times square root r. It means instead of combining it, I should separate everything. I should pecahkan everything so that it becomes the most basic form. So this one also I will pecahkan also. So how to pecahkan? It becomes square root 12 times square root r, right? And then the square root 72, just leave it like this, right? And what you have to do is factorize the square root r from both terms, because these two terms, they both have square root r. So you can factorize out, right? And you are finding r, so it's good to make the r single. Okay, when you factorize out, you left with square root 24 plus square root 12 sini. And then on the other side is still square root 72. Now you can find r, but first you have to pinna this whole thing to the other side, right? And remember, don't rationalize. Why? Because the answer, they never rationalize the denominator, right? Because the answer also bawah ada square root. So I will just write equals to square root 72 divide with square root 24 plus square root 12. Okay, so don't rationalize, but you can simplify this actually. How to simplify? Okay, 72, I know, okay, 72 tak boleh square root, but you can simplify because 72 can divide with perfect square, right? So can you tell me what is the highest perfect square yang 72 boleh bahagi? 36. Yeah, because 36 times 2 is 72. And the reason why why I write like this is because later 36 boleh square root, nanti dia jadi 6 square root 2 macam ni, right? Okay, do the same thing for square root 24. Okay, now I want you to think 24, dia boleh bahagi dengan any perfect square tak? And kalau boleh, you choose the highest perfect square. So 24 boleh bahagi dengan 4, right? Yeah, and 4 is a perfect square. That's why you change to 4 times 6. So later it becomes what? Square root 4 is 2, it becomes 2 square root 6. But don't forget to plus lagi dengan square root 12. Okay, 12 can jadi 4 times 3 lah. And why I pecahkan jadi 4 times 3? Because I know square root 4 boleh jadi 2 and then square root 3. Okay, the 3 cannot square root. That's why I just write like this. And then don't forget the plus like this, right? Okay, sampai sini. Okay, this one you should write square root r. And then sampai sini, don't rationalize. You can see that the 6, 2, and 2 can potong. But I don't want you to potong like this. If you potong like this, wrong. Actually, you have to potong sekali dengan ni one, right? So let me show you how I will do it. First, you will factorize out the 2 dekat bawah sini dulu. Because when you take out the 2, you left with square root 6 plus square root 3, right? And also when you factorize out, it becomes like a hubungan dia jadi darab. And when it's darab, it's much more easier to potong, right? Bila dia something darab something, you can straight away potong like this. So you end up with square root r equals to 3 square root 2 over square root 6 plus square root 3. And I will not rationalize. I will not rationalize because I know the answer also never rationalize. So I don't want to rationalize. Okay, now how to find r? Just square the whole thing, right? Just square the whole thing, right? So it becomes like 3 square root 2 over, okay, I don't want to write like this. I will just square both sides like this, square both sides. So what happens when you take square root r square, you left with r. Because the square root and square, they can cut, right? They can potong. And then this whole thing square becomes what? Atas pun kena square, bawah pun kena square. Okay, if you take 3 square root 2 square, you will end up with 3 square, which is 9. Square root 2 square, you left with 2. Okay, you know that, right? Because when you take square root 2 square, the square root square cut already. So left with 2. And then what about yang bawah square? Okay, you cannot just tell me 6 plus 3. You don't tell me, oh, sir, square root 6 square is 6. And then square just salah. Okay, bukan. when you take square root 6 plus square root 3 square, what it means is you have to take square root 6 square, and then square root 6 times square root 3 times 2, and then square root 3 square. That's the correct way. So sekali lagi, square root 6 square, 6. Square root 6 times square root 3 times 2. Square root 6 times square root 3 is square root 18. Times 2, 2 square root 18. This is the correct way. And then baru ambil square root 3 square plus 3. This is the correct way. Okay, so R equals what? 9 times 2 is 18. 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 2 square root 18, right? Okay, but square root 18 actually can simplify lah. Because 18 can divide with perfect square 9, right? 9 times 2 is 18. And the reason I do it like this is because I can simplify jadi 18 tambah 9 plus 2 times, okay, what is square root 9? 3, right? And then the 2 cannot square root, so just write square root 2 macam ni, right? Okay, I don't have enough space, so let me write up here. So it becomes R equals what? 18 over, okay, 9, okay, plus 2 times 3 is 6, so it'll be 6 square root 2, right? Okay, is this answer same with the answer they want me to show? 6 over 3 plus 2 square root 2. Okay, it's not same, right? Okay, I think I know how to make it same already. You just simplify lah. Because 18, 9, and 6, all these numbers can divide 3, right? But I don't want you to straight away potong like this. Because now there's a plus here. So if you potong like this, it's like it's not good. So how to potong is you try to make it a times relation first. So how to do that is you simply you factorize. So 9 and 6 they both can divide 3, right? So you will take out 3 from these two terms. So 9 divide 3 left with 3 here. 6 divide 3, which is end up with 2 square root 2. Now you cut. So now you end up with 6 atas. So your R equals to 6 over 3 plus 2 square root 2, right? Because 18 divided 3 is 6. Okay, is this same with what they want? 6 over 3 plus 2 square root 2. Okay, yeah, it's the same. So now they want us to show So I already show lah. So now I can just write the word shown and I'm done. That's all. So that's it. Right? Okay, now I can do my last question, number 15. Right? Okay, finally, last question. Let's go. 15. What is this? An engineer celebrate his 34th birthday on 31 December 2024. So what it means? It means his birthday is on 31 December, and when it's year 2024, he turns 34 years old, right? He is offered a position as a senior engineer in company A and company B and will start working on 1 January 2025. So when he start working at 1 January 2025, how old is he? He's 34 years old, right? Because he celebrates his 34th birthday on 31 December, right? So on 1 January, the next day, he is 34 years old, right? Correct, huh? Okay, in what? In company A, he is offered a salary of 7,500 per month, and he will get an annual means 1 year. So 1 year increased 340. But then the salary is for 1 month, right? So it's like the 7,500 is the salary for 1 year. 1 year, the whole year, 1 year got 12 months, right? And for the first 12 months, the salary never increase. It will still be 7,500. It will only increase after 12 months. After 1 year, then only the it will increase 340 because they say annual, right? Company B, on the other hand, is offered a salary 7,800 per month. So this one is 1 month. And the increase is 4%, but it's also annual increase. It means after 1 year only, you will increase 4% of his salary for the following year. Soalan A, based on the total salary offered by the two companies, which company would the engineer choose if he planned to retire at the age of 58 in the company? Okay, they give you 4 marks for this, but they want you to find out the total salary for both company, right? For the two company, if he retires at age 58. Okay, let's not find the total salary first. Let's write the progression first, right? Let's write the progression. So we can form a progression for company A punya salary and company B also, right? Okay, for company A, what's the first term? It will not be 7,500. It will be 7,500 times 12. You know why, right? Because if you write 7,500, that's for first month. The next month also same. The third month also same. It never increase. It will only increase after when it's after 1 year, right? So what you should do is you should get the 1 year salary first. So what is 7,500 times 12? My calculator give me 90,000. So this is the first year salary. In other words, this is 1 January 2025. Okay, 1 January 2025. And if he works until 1 January 2026. Wait, is that correct? Yeah lah, because he start working on this, right? So for the 1 year salary, he accumulate 90,000 lah. So it's correct, right? From 2025 to 2026, right? Okay, let me write nicely. So 90,000 is the first year salary, right? This is the amount he earned in the first year, which is from 1 January 25, 1 January 26, right? Okay, the next year will be uh will be increase, annual increase 340. So you will take this number plus 340, and when you plus, you will get 90340. And then next one will be 90680, right? Just plus 340 again. And this will form an arithmetic progression, right? Because you plus, you bukan darab, right? So the first term is 90,000, and then the common difference is 340, right? Okay, now let's write for company B. Okay, for company B, what is the progression first term? Salary 7,800 per month. You will also times 12, right? Okay, so what is 7800 times 12? 93600, right? Just now it's 90,000. Okay, so wait, let me check. Okay, yeah, 7,800. 7,500 or okay, yeah, betul lah, 7,800. Okay, 93600 is the first year salary. So working first year, this is like total amount he earned. So in the first year, he actually earned more than company A lah, right? Okay, but then he say what? Annual increase 4%. So every year, the following year, increase 4%. So when you increase 4%, what you do? How to get the second year salary? You will take 93600 times 4 over 100, and then get the answer. And then afterwards, take the answer plus with the 93600, right? But if you do it like that, it's very slow, right? So if you want to do fast, you can straight away darab with what? You just darab with 104%, right? Darab with 104%. Because you increase 4%, it means the new salary will be the old salary times with 104%, because you want the 4% of the value and then plus with the original 100%. So you do it like this is faster. In other words, you darab dengan 1.04, right? You just times 1.04, right? So if you press this in your calculator, what you get? Let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 97344. Okay, so that's the second year salary, and then times again, right? Okay, so my calculator give me 101,237, 101,237.76, right? And it keeps going, right? Okay, so this is the first three terms, right? You don't have to write a lot of terms one, just write three terms is enough, right? So the A is 93600, and this is a geometric progression. So the common ratio is 1.04, because to get to the next term, you darab 1.04, right? Okay, after writing this progression, now we can focus on what the question wants. Let's read again. Based on total salary offered by two companies, which company would the engineer choose if he plan to retire at age of 58 in the company? It means I have to find the total amount of salary earned by him when he retire for both company. And then afterwards, I have to choose which one is higher lah, right? Because they say which company would he choose. So which one gives you a higher salary? That one is the one you choose lah. And also you have to use the SN formula, because you are finding total accumulated after working for many years, right? This is only this is only the salary for that year, for that specific year. So if you want to find the total salary total, it has to like use the SN formula, right? So later I have to use SN, but S berapa, right? So they got mentioned retire at age 58, right? So I need some space to explain this. So how old is him when he start working? How old is him? 34 years old, right? So let's write down here. 34 years old is when 31 December 2024, right? It means that 1 January he start working, right? So I shouldn't write this. So I should write the time when he start working, 1 January 2025. This is when he's 34 years old, right? Yeah, because he celebrate the birthday on 31 December. It means that on 1 January 2025, that is his first day being 34 years old, right? So after 1 year, it will be 1 January 2026, and it will be 35, right? And then here will be 27, 28, 29, 30, until, so what they're asking is basically until like 58 years old, like what is the year here, right? And also how many like which term I have to find. That's what it means lah, right? So what you can do is you can take 58 minus 34, right? 58 minus 34, right? Okay, 34, what is 38? 58 minus 34. Let's press. Okay, if you tekan, calculator will give you 24, right? 24, that means 34 have to plus, how to say, have to plus 24 years. Okay, it means he works for 24 years lah. Is it correct if I say like that? Okay, let's think about it. So the first year he worked is from 1 January 2025 2026. So how old is him here? How old is him? 34 years old, right? 34 years old. Correct, 1 January 2025. Yeah, correct, 34, right? And if I, so the next one here is 35 lah. So 34 is T1, right? 34 is T1. 30, 35 is T2, T3, 36, right? So if I want to find 58 Tn, the A would be 34, the D would be 1, right? So Tn equals 58, use the Tn formula, A plus N minus 1, D is 1, and then the A is 34, right? And then plus equals to 58. So how to find the N? N minus 1 equals 58 minus 34, which is 58 minus 34, which is 24. And then your N, you will get 25, right? But I want to mention something, because by the time you reach T24, right, he's already 58 years old, right? So it means he will retire exactly 1 January. Okay, I don't know what's the year lah, but it's not that important. The year is not important. What I want to say is he will retire exactly the time he reached 58 years old. And his birthday is on 31st December. It means the following year he will stop working already. It means you will not use S25. You will do S24, because he will retire when he reach 58 years old. It means when he reach T25, he will earn 0 ringgit. He will earn 0 ringgit. So it means you will not find the S25. Yeah, you will find S24, right? Because when he turned 58, that's when he stopped working already, right? So it's like when he's 58, because this one is from 1 January, okay, let me explain like this. Okay, this one is from 1 January 2025 until 1 January 2026, right? Right? So 1 year. So imagine if when he's 58 years old, it will be 1 January some year, I don't know what year, until 1 January some year also, right? But I don't know what year, but it's okay. You don't need to know the year. But the truth is, he retired right as soon as he turned 58 years old. It means that you don't have to include this term. You have to take the term before. He will earn 0 ringgit. Like in the 25th year, 25th term, he will earn 0, because he retired exactly right, exactly the moment he reached 58 years old. So the answer should be like, the end should be 24, because 58 is the 25th term, right? So you have to take 24 actually, right? Okay, I hope you understand lah. All right, so I will find S24 for both, okay, for both the company, and then I can compare and see which value is higher lah. Okay, all right. The SN formula is what? For arithmetic is n over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d, and then for geometric is Sn equals to a bracket. Okay, since your r is bigger than 1, so it's r power n minus 1. Silap, terbalik already. This one is kalau you punya r smaller than 1. If r bigger than 1, it should be r power n minus 1 like this, right? Maksudnya dia ada dua version. There's two version to this formula. Satu is r minus 1, another one is 1 minus r. But if your r is bigger than 1, you should use this one, right? Okay, let's do this one first. N over 2, so 24 over 2. Big bracket 2a, a is 90,000. plus n minus 1 d. 24 minus 1 is 23. D is 340, close bracket. Now tekan lah. 24 divided 2 is 12. And then press this whole thing in your calculator. 2 times 90k plus 23 times 340. So you get 187,820. Okay, times 12. So the answer is 2253,840. Write RM lah, because this one is salary, right? 840. All right, now I have to find the S24 for this. All right, so this one got fraction one. So A is what? 93600 bracket R power n minus 1. So what is the R? R is 1.04 power 24 minus 1, right? And then divide with R minus 1. So 1.04 minus 1, which is 0.04. And then press this whole thing in your calculator. Okay, let's see what I get. 1.04 power 24 minus 1 equals answer times 93600. Okay, you get like very ugly answer. So I don't want to write like this. I straight away write the final answer. So answer divide 0.04. Okay, I get it 58131.746. So 75 lah. And write RM, because this one is the total amount of salary, right? Okay, sekarang saya kena buat apa? Sekarang saya kena buat apa? Sekarang I think I have to compare which one is higher, right? Right. So wait tunggu saya jap. Jap. Okay, so I have to tengok which one is higher. So the question asks you to which company would the engineer choose if he plan to retire? So which company should he choose? Company B, right? So I'll just write company B, right? Okay, so this is the answer. But did they ask us to write the reason? Okay, they never say, right? Right? They just say which company. Okay, so company B lah. But let's write the reason lah. Right? Just write, just in case. So company, because what? Because the total, okay, how do you say it here? Total salary offered by company B. The total salary offered. Okay, how to spell offered? OFFE. Betul lah. Okay, offered by company B, RM 3658131.75 is higher. Right? Okay, so this is how I do it, right? Okay, I'm looking at the schema. The schema, this answer is same with me, but this one is not same. So I'm not sure why. Is it because I pressed wrong? Okay, wait, let me press again. 340 2 times 90k plus answer times 2. Okay, I think I tried tekan again, but I still get the same. So I don't know, maybe the schema wrong. Okay, yeah, okay. Tak apa, tak apa. Okay, but this answer, my this answer is same lah, right? Okay, tak apa, it's okay. I'll just leave it like this, right? Okay, I want to continue with B now. So let's read the question first. Hence, find the engineer's last monthly salary if the company offers a monthly increase of 1% per month for him to continue working until the age of 60. Well, when you do A just now, he says he will retire at the age of 58, right? And we all know 58 years old is the 24th year working, right? It means he worked until the 20, it means that we find the S24, right? Yeah, because from 38 years old, right? Yeah, from 34 years old to 58. It means he will work for 24 years. That is why when you do A just now, you find S24 because you want the total amount of salary, total amount. So you find S24 because you want to find the sum of first 24 terms, right? But now what if he work until 60? It means he worked for another extra 2 years, right? Right? Because this is the amount he earned, total amount he earned if he work until 58 years old. But if you work one more year, then it will be like when he's 59 lah. And if you work another year, then you'll be 60. It means you work for 2 more years here, right? You work for 2 more years. But for these 2 years, the the increase is not the same because this one they say if the company offers monthly increase of 1% per month if he works until the age of 60. So I think I need to form a new progression, and this time my progression first term will be the monthly salary, not the year salary already, because these are all annual salary for 1 year, right? But now I need to get for 1 month. But what would be my first term? Okay, the first term will be T24. You know why, right? Because 24 is when he stopped working. 24 is when he like stop when he's retire, right? That's why when we find when we do A, we find S24, right? Because 24th year, that's the last year, that's when he retires, right? Okay, but let's assume, but now he says he will continue working, right? So it means later my first term, it will be the amount, the yearly salary for the 24th year. So I will find T24 now. So for B, I will find T24. And the formula for Tn for geometric progression is AR power n minus 1, right? So let me find T24 now. It will be AR power n minus 1. So the A is 93600. Just write it down. And then R is 1.04 power n minus 1, right? N is 24 minus 1, which is 23. So let's press this. Okay, 93600 times bracket 1.04 power 23. Okay, my calculator give me 697.37. Okay, what is this? This represents the yearly, not monthly, the yearly salary at the 24th year. All right. Then what about this? What is this represents? This is the first year plus the second year plus the third year plus the fourth year plus the fifth year until the 324th year, because he retired at age 58. That's why you find the sum, right? The total amount is the sum. But this one represents only the yearly salary for that one specific year at the last year. This is the last year he kerja punya salary, the yearly salary. But now he says if he keep working, he continue working until 60 years old, right? But the monthly increase is 1%. So you cannot use the yearly salary anymore. You have to divide 12 to get the monthly salary. So I'll write monthly salary here, and I will put bracket for how many years old? When he's 58 years old. Okay, 58, right? You understand now why 58 years old? Because this is the amount included in this, right? It means this is the, wait, actually it's not 58, right? It should be 57 actually. Yeah, 57, right? Yeah, it's 57. Because this amount is included in the S24. It means that, yeah, this is the last year dia work punya yearly salary. So sorry, so this is 57. Yeah, because he retired at age 58, right? So yeah, this is the last year, so this should be the monthly salary for 57 would be 230,697.37 divide 12 like this. Ini baru betul. So let me use the answer button, divide 12. Okay, I get 19224.78, right? So this is the monthly salary for the final year he worked. If he retire at 58 years old, right? But now he says he will continue working until 60 years old, and the monthly increase is 1% per month. So what is the first term? Your first term is 19224.78 lah. But you have to take note here, this is when he's 57 years old, 57 years old, right? And for the A question, he stopped working here. This is where he stopped already. That's why you only find S24 here. But now you have to assume that he continue, right? So if he continue, when he's 58 years old, what is the monthly salary, right? What is his monthly salary? Well, if you look heavily here, they says monthly increase of 1% per month, right? And it's monthly, monthly, right? So what I have to do now? It means this is not just 57 years old. Okay, this is 57 years old monthly lah. So it's like from 1 January to, okay, I don't know what year, but it's like the whole year lah, for 1 year. Okay, for 1 year, the salary is like this. Every month, okay, every month, the salary is like this for 1 whole year, right? And then when he reached 58 years old, okay, let me just put like this. So, uh, let me erase and write like this. So this is the 57 years old sampai 58 years old punya monthly salary. Monthly salary. It means from January until December, every month is like, this is the salary, right? But starting from 58 years old, right? It increased 1%, right? So what I have to do is I have to times with 1.01 lah. Because if increase 1% means you darab dengan 1% and then tambah balik the original value 100%. So it's like if you want to do fast, just darab 1.01. So let me press and see what I get. Times 1.01. I get 19417.03. So let's write that down. So what is this? This is the monthly salary for January only. Yeah, for January only. So 19417.03. And what is this? This is the first month. Okay, it means if he keeps working, continue working, after he turned 58 years old, if he keeps working, this is the salary for January only, for the 1 month only. Yeah, right. Then what about for February when he's after 58 years old? It will be this one times 1.01 lah, right? And let's tekan that again and see what I get. My calculator give me 19611.199, so 20 lah, right? And it will keep going lah, right? But we have to calculate until how many years old? Until he's 60 years old, which is like 2 years, right? So can you tell me until 60 years old, I have to, what is my A first of all? My A would be 19224.78, right? And then what would be my R? It would be 1.01. And then I have to find T berapa. All right. They want to find the last month, right? Let's read again. What, find the engineer last monthly salary. Last monthly. So what would be the last term would be what? The last term would be December 59 years old, right? Correct. Because he works until 60. Continue. Okay, so it'll be December 59 years old lah. So how many terms you have here? All right. We all know January is the first month, February is the second month, and then if you keep going until December 58 years old, it will be 12 months. Do you agree? So January 58 first month, February 58 second month, March 58 third month, and then April 58 fourth month, and it keeps going until December 58, which is the 12 months, right? 12 months. But that one is December 58. I want December 59. So you plus 12 again. So it means from here got 24 terms. Got 24 terms, right? Because it's exactly January 58 until December 58, and then January 59 until December 59, right? And then January 60 years old, he never worked already. Like he stopped at until the age of 60 ma. So he stopped until here already. So what I have to find here? T25. You understand, right? Because there's one more term here. Okay? Yeah, there's one more term here. So it's like 24 from here to here, and then plus this. So you are finding T25. And the formula is 19224.78. AR power n minus 1. So the R is 1.01. Power minus 1 is 25 minus 1. Right? Okay, there's another way to do it. You can also ignore this term and then make this the first term. But if you make this the first term, then you have to find T24 lah. You understand, right? Because if you make this the first term means you are finding the T24 only, right? And you will get the same answer. If you do it like that, you get the same answer, right? Okay, let me press this first. 19224.78, darab 1.01, and then power 24. Yeah, betul lah. Okay, my calculator give me, wait, I silap tekan 19224.78 times 1.01 bracket power 24. Okay, my calculator give me 24410.37. Okay, let's write RM here because it's a monthly salary. So this is my answer, right? Okay, again, I want to repeat myself. If you want to make this the first term, can also, right? But if you do that, you find T24 lah, because there's only, you are finding the 24th term. But since I start here, that's why I do T25, right? It will give you the same answer, okay? All right, so what the question wants, that's all right. They want to find the engineer last monthly salary. So this is the last monthly salary lah. Okay, and then the following month he stopped working already, right? He worked until 60 years old only. Okay, so the moment he turned 60, he stopped working already. Okay, I think that's all. So this is the whole paper. All right, see you next video. Bye bye.